Oh man, today's been one of those days. I was at work today, so I was like watching everything when it was popping up, and a lot of reactions
hold
there.
up.
Yo,
I pulled one of your moves, man. I was muted. Okay, look. We gonna start over. Hold on. We gonna start over. Okay.
At least it wasn't 10 minutes into the show.
Right. Well, that's true. That could definitely be bad. But I'm glad I was looking at my levels. But what's up, guys? DPS podcast episode number 36. 36, and we got a great show for you guys. We're about to have a whole lot of fun because we got some great topics, man. A lot of stuff happened today. I feel like E3 has already occurred. Like E3 is already here. And yes, Franco, we are on time. You know, that tends to happen when slow-mo's hosting. But not to get too far into that, let me shout out some people in the chat. I did this already, but you guys couldn't hear me. But anyway, Smiles, thank you for being the very first person. Anyway, Smiles, thank you for being the very first person in the chat. Spider13, good to see you again as always. Sam Walton, what's good, bro? Mishy Dies a Lot is here once again. Mishy's always here, man. I really appreciate him. Franco Tech, you're always here as well. Appreciate you guys. T. Harris is Horizon 2. My God. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. Corey Hale, Royal, the Spectre homie Royal Boyle's in the house. Jay the Destroyer. So glad to see you guys here. And what's that? My bad. Stardust says, what's up, Slow-Mo and Gaming Forte? What's up, Stardust Acero? And let me introduce my co-host here, Gaming Forte, who actually dropped a video today, unlike myself. How's it going, man?
No, I'm good, man. I bet you were shocked when you saw that video.
Yeah, I was like, this thumbnail looks familiar. Who does thumbnails? Like, oh, it's Forte. Forte made a video? Like, what?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I can't talk because clearly I haven't dropped a video in a minute. I know I said I was going to last week. My bad, y'all. I've been so busy. I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it. But yeah, prepping
for this great show we gonna have today.
But no, seriously. How you been since last week, and what you been playing?
Oh man, I've been good, man. It's been a pretty good week. Finally got back into some Mass Effect because I finally got my Destiny obligations pretty much out of the way with the world first raid, second first raid, I should say. Enjoyed that because it's actually really, really good too. So I've been doing that a little bit, but I jumped back into Mass Effect. The
world first, this raid was for Destiny?
Yeah, for Destiny.
Okay.
For Voda Glass for the second time. But that was really cool. I like the changes they made to it. I think anybody that remember the original way, it's still pretty standard, but they changed some very subtle things that you're like, oh, okay. This is what they were talking about where they were like, yo, you guys too powerful for this game, for this raid in Destiny 1. We're gonna have to change some stuff up. And oh boy, did they change some stuff up. So that was fun. But then I jumped back into Mass Effect, trying to grind my way through that some more to get ready for.
You're still in Mass Effect 1?
I'm still in 1 because I haven't got a chance to get out of 1. I'm like halfway through 1. I'm about 16 hours in.
Well, which mission are you on?
Good 70%. I just finished clearing out, what is it, Pharos?
Pharos, yeah.
Yeah, I just finished clearing all that stuff out.
Did you save Zoo's Hope, or did you?
I did.
Okay, good for you.
Because I'm a good guy. You probably let it burn, didn't you?
I mean, look, man. When you out here talking about just throw some sleepy gas on them, I'm like, are they shooting at me? They shooting at me? I'm just wanting no, forget the sleepy gas. How about some bullets? I throw some bullets at them.
When I got the options and stuff, I was sitting there like, man, because sometimes when you're playing a game, you just start thinking about your friends. Like, I know my friends. I know Slow-Mo picked this. I know Cognito picked this. it's just kind of crazy, man. But no, man, that's a classic right there, man. So I'm really enjoying that. And then I finally did pick up Resident Evil 7. I was waiting for a used copy to hit
7
the store.
or 8?
Oh, 8. Yeah,
you mean
8.
Village?
Yeah, Village. Yeah, I finally picked that up. Somebody traded it in because they were putting it towards their Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation, and I was like, $47. And then I get a discount. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll get this for, what was it, 36? So I was like, yeah, I'll pick this up. So
it's a good deal for a fairly new game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to play it. I'm going to definitely play it. I probably want to get through ME1 first, then go into Mass Effect 2. Well, then probably do Resident Evil 7, because I hear it's really short. Like, I think the first playthrough people said was like 12 to 13 hours. Then they say after that, if you want to just blow through it, you can. So everybody said it's actually a really, really good game. So I definitely want to try that out. But boy, I'm just waiting for Ratchet and Clank. That's what I'm waiting for. Honestly, that's the next thing for me, honestly. And
hey, shout out to Elder Cat in the chat in regards to Pharaohs. He said I killed them all. Killed the bugs, killed the citizens, killed the council, killed my cats, killed the neighbors' cats, killed clowns, killed everything. He killed everything.
He said either get down or lay down.
You either get down or lay down with the Elder Shepherd. Hey, look, hey, I can't be mad at you. That's how my my stream playthrough was going. So of course, you know me, big Mass Effect fan here. I got Mass Effect on PlayStation 5. I got Mass Effect on PC. What's up, Taz? How's it going, man? So what's up, Replicant? Yeah, so I'm streaming my PC build, my PC run through. That's my Renegade. We want the world to burn. We want the universe to burn playthrough. It's great. Last time I streamed, man, Rex got caught up. It was pretty nasty. What's up, Persona? How's it going, man? How's it going? On PlayStation, I'm doing my Paragon playthrough, which is what you guys are watching now. This is like I recorded the beginning of Mass Effect 1 with my Paragon Shepherd, Shanae Shepherd. Yeah, her name is Shanae. Don't judge me. So
wait, did you actually type that into the damn bar when you did it?
Her name is Shanae. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I said don't judge. There are women out there.
You should have kept that shit. You should have kept that stuff to yourself.
There's women out there named Shanae, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm representing for them.
And they're characters from 1990.
Hey, look, anyway. So that's my Paragon playthrough, which y'all are watching. I'm streaming my Renegade playthrough, and it's like because I'm streaming the Renegade playthrough on PC, it's taking longer. So I'm still on Mass Effect 1. But on PlayStation, I'm already on Mass Effect 2. Just because you know how I am. I'll be up late. I'm just playing all through the night and stuff, man. It's great. Oh, what's up, Persona with the $5 super chat says shout out to the DPS crew. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate that. That's pretty awesome of you.
Shout out to you, Persona.
Is it?
You all right, man?
Hold up. Time out. Franco said you eating.
No, I'm not.
Are you certain?
No. Do you sound like I wish I was eating right now.
Okay, because I'm about to say, because like if we was about to have a problem if you were eating on the air.
Man, I think Franco must be hungry.
Or maybe you eating.
No. Does it sound like I'm eating, man?
Well, look, I normally can tell when you are, so we'll see.
Right,
I bet not hear anything.
I think Franco just hungry right now. That's all. Tell that man to go have a Snickers.
Man. But no, what else I've been playing? I've been actually, so this was well before I knew that Horizon or Forbidden West was going to be shown, which we're definitely going to get into tonight. I was going to I'm gonna finally finish this Horizon Zero Dawn playthrough, and I did finish that earlier today. definitely kind of changed some of my thoughts on the game overall and got me even more excited for, you know, seeing the reveal later on today. We'll get into that later, but I've been playing.
Yeah, I got some real questions about ask you about that Horizon Zero Dawn.
But unlike you, who's actually finished it, I got some rebuttals for you. So we gonna see.
Oh, you can have those rebuttals. I'm not shying away from the fact that game was boring as heck. And it was just hard to get back into.
Franco says you sound like you eating, and Gadget said I heard those nibbles, Forte. So people are on to you.
The
DPS chat don't play. The DPS chat is on to you, Forte. You out here eating during the show. We can't understand what you're saying, and when you got like food in the corners of your mouth and you all smacking,
shout out to the homeboy Royal Boyle 78 with the $5 holler. He says Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West look fire. I'm here to support my guys. Here's to a great show. Yo, bro. Always appreciate you, brother. Always appreciate everybody in this chat, even when they're trying to crucify me for something that I'm not doing. But it's fine.
You know, you did just then sound like you were you were eating something. You did, yo. You just sound like you were eating something.
See, Replicate right there says, "Forte, I got your back. I hear no chomping."
I think Replicant's ears need to. He might need to go see a doctor
for his Horizon opinion. Okay.
Hey, look,
I was 27 hours in when Breath of the Wild came out, and I never went back.
Hey, look, we gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it a little bit later. But I played Biomutant, which also is something that we're gonna talk about later.
Yes, we need to talk about that game.
Did you play it?
Yeah.
I played excellent. So we can both get our opinions.
4 hours of it.
Okay. I'm probably right around. That's actually might be a little bit more.
Did you get to the first boss?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so yeah, we're pretty
the first World Eater.
Yeah.
So that's where I stopped. So yeah, we're about roughly roughly at the same point. So we can definitely get into that. I live streamed my initial playthrough, my first 2.5 hours of it. Shout out to everybody that came through. Man, it was
that was a funny stream.
It was rough.
Saying, look, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and you finally tell me how to run.
Yo, I mean, seriously, like, why in showing you how to do the controls, do you not tell someone how to run as soon as you're telling me how to jump over like big trees and stuff, but you won't tell me how to run? Really?
I just figured out how to run by just clicking the button. And I was running before the game told me.
You know what?
It's not a shade. I'm just saying.
You know what? It's all right. It's all right. You know, we're not gonna get into this. We're not gonna get into this anyway.
Listen. These people are here to hear our opinions on all this greatness that happened today. Because you know what, PlayStation. PlayStation, man.
And we do have some mini topics. So we got our topics list up here, but we got some mini topics. I want to knock one of them out real quick. At least
you didn't put Horizon Zero Dawn at the bottom of the list and make these people wait all the way to the end of the show.
No. I wanted to make sure we got we
I just realized you want to slander somebody before you give them praise. Oh, I see what's going on here. Let's go. All right, let's go, Slow-Mo.
Who? I don't even know who you're talking about.
I'm looking at the order of these topics, and Borderlands is the first.
Well, we gonna get it. So anyway, look. Before we do that, we have to acknowledge a showcase presentation, a reveal, or whatever you want to call it, of Sonic earlier today, which is like announcement inception. It's like an announcement within an announcement. They announced that they're going to announce something else. It's just like, what are you doing? I don't know what that is. I don't care.
It's called building hype.
Well, they built the hype. They gotta deliver on it. They should have delivered on something that people actually wanted to see at that time. Which, whatever, no one thinks much of Sonic in 2021. Name the last time there was a good Sonic game. I mean, like, where some of the people in the chat weren't even alive. Some of us, couldn't drive, weren't adults, so whatever. Like, no one cares about Sonic. But I just wanted to kind of get that out the way ahead of time, and then we can kind of move on to some of the other more relevant stuff.
wasn't Sonic Colors only because Sonic Colors was it was on PS3 and 360 and it was okay. Never mind. I can't forget that because the only place I ever saw that game sell at was on the regular on Wii, even knowing it was available in other places.
Well, look, Fear Avenger in the chat was like the only person that was impressed. Okay, so Fear Avenger says,
no, he should be impressed, man. Sega ain't gave them nothing when it comes to the Sonic IP in a long time. They keep doing crossovers with Mario.
I think they still ain't giving them nothing, but let me keep my opinion. He says, Fear Avenger says, looking forward to the Sonic Colors remaster. Never played it back in the day, and the new game has me intrigued. Well, you know what? I'm glad Fear Avenger is going to get what he's looking for. He's going to get him a very mid Sonic game, and he's going to enjoy it. I'm happy for
man,
it. Man,
no. First of all, don't do that. A mid Sonic game.
Look,
on,
I'm not
just
trying
because
to be mean.
You're not interested in one.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest.
You ain't get all excited by the power of the hedgehog. It don't mean
okay. So you're going to play the Sonic game?
No, my kids love Sonic, so it'll probably be something that I'm going to end up buying just because they're going to see it in the store one day. And
look, my son,
Sonic game?
My son loves Sonic, and he doesn't like any of the new ones.
You probably won't let him play it.
No, he doesn't like any of the new Sonics. He likes the old ones, like the ones that we played when we were like the actual good ones.
The Sega Genesis collection ones.
Yeah, he plays those all the time. So yeah, that's look, it's whatever. It's Sega here. So I didn't expect much from that.
Yeah, Replica said Sega should have went full Kojima, and now it's the Sonic 6 remaster. Listen, man, Sonic's an OG, man. I think they did miss a big opportunity not really hashing out anything Sonic when they had the movie release. I think that was a really good opportunity to get a lot of people back into it, but who knows? This I think it'll still do pretty good because at a certain point, there's not that many running platforms like that. Because that's pretty much what Sonic is a running platform, and those games are very far in between, especially since games like Rayman Legends and just Rayman in general haven't been around. Because I don't know what Ubisoft is doing with that IP anymore.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Like,
I love those. I love those games.
Pretty much what they're doing with good old Splinter Cell, which is absolutely nothing.
Oh man.
So look,
like this.
That wasn't the only thing. There was actually this was last night, which really got me upset. But Square Enix did a whole reveal thing for Dragon Quest, and so they're like remastering a whole bunch of Dragon Quest games, which. If you're
some people happy for that.
Yeah, there's some Dragon Quest fans that are out there that are happy about that. Yeah. Me personally, I'm just sitting here just kind of looking at it like, you did a remake for Final Fantasy VII, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you broke that up into parts. You spent a lot of money on that. That's great. When can Chrono Trigger get some love?
Look, man, they don't care about that stuff, man. Final Fantasy is the
how do you not care?
It is the straw that stirs the drink.
Hold on. How
Square
do you
Enix,
not care about the best RPG
I'm not
that
saying
was ever made?
I don't care. I'm just saying they don't care because guess what? If you put Chrono Trigger next to most of the Final Fantasy games that are the ones that they're talking about remastering and bringing back up to date. Which ones have sold more? Which ones are
Gadget
more
in the chat? Hold on. Gadget in the chat. What is Dragon Quest? Exactly.
Well, I agree. Dragon Quest was the game that everybody just played if they didn't know what Final Fantasy was.
Who cares about Dragon Quest? Where is my Chrono Trigger, man? Give me a Chrono Trigger.
You gotta remember Enix. That was an Enix thing.
I'll even take a Chrono Trigger that is like visually like an Octopath Traveler or something like that, right? Like give me something like that. Did
you play Octopath?
A little bit. I said visually. I mean, I'm not saying make it like. No, it's in backlog. I just haven't got to it. But
it's in backlog.
But I know like to do a full on remake like Final Fantasy VII remake ish, like that's going to take years upon years, especially with Square because they're extremely inefficient when it comes to the time to make the game. But at least give me that kind of art style, so it doesn't take too long. But give me a remake.
Right.
Bring it back. Make some of the game mechanics a little more modern. Let's I have to go make a video about this. I'm seriously, I am. I'm gonna put a video out. I promise. But it's gonna be about how
Lord.
they can actually make Chrono Trigger modern and better and make it blow, the way, and then they can actually do a true sequel, which is a Chrono Cross, but a true sequel to Chrono Trigger. That would be great. I would love that. But let's are you ready to get into these?
What is wrong with your femshep?
What do you mean?
Why her face look like clay?
What are you talking about? There is nothing wrong with her face.
Saw her face. She looked like she Never mind, moving on.
What is wrong with my femshep? I think she's pretty hot. What is the problem here?
No, I don't know. Nothing, I guess.
No, seriously. What's wrong?
She looks better from a distance.
Wow, so you're saying she's ugly. All right, chat. I need some people in the chat here. Shout out to Clinton Rubio for subbing to the channel. What's up,
Clinton
man?
Rubio. Hey, I know Clinton Rubio. What's up, Clinton?
Yo. Oh, hey, Clinton.
That's a coworker, sir.
Oh, well, Clinton, get your boy. He's saying
he's almost as good at me as sales. He's almost as good as me as sales. So
Well, maybe he can sell you on some glasses, so you can see that my femshep is hot.
Tell those customers we got to get glasses, because I swear to God, everybody thinks we look alike. Everybody is like, man, how did you get down here so fast? I just left your store. I'm like, yo, that's my doppelganger.
Replicant.
Not me.
Stop. Femshep needs to put her helmet on.
I told you.
There is nothing. Yo.
I told you.
I put in a lot of time and the character editor, character creator,
go back and do some more
to make her. You know what?
Hurry up and get the Mass Effect 2 so you can redo those looks.
I want to see your femshep. Okay.
I want to see femshep.
Exactly, because she be. Let me not. I was about to say a butterface. Matter of fact, I did say a butterface. Matter of fact, let's move on. You ready to get into these topics, man?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so first topic on the agenda.
Said facts.
Facts that my femshep's hot. Thank you. All right.
Oh Lord.
First topic on the agenda is Borderlands 3 and crossplay. So, oh man, we had a tweet from Randy Pitchford earlier today, this morning, bright and early in the morning. And Randy, basically he had all the smoke today. Randy said we got some good news and we got some bad news. Here's the good news. The good news is that we have an update for Borderlands 3 that's going to bring in crossplay. And I'm like, bet. Because when I play Borderlands 3 and I still play Borderlands 3, I got nobody to play with. I have it on every platform. I have it on PC, Xbox, even though I don't have an Xbox anymore. And I got it on PlayStation. I got it on all platforms. I don't have anybody to play with. And whenever I do have someone says, hey, I'm going to play some Borderlands 3. It's always at a time when I'm not playing on that particular platform. There's a problem. There's something going on. So I would welcome.
I'm sorry.
crossplay.
I just keep laughing. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Chat. I'm laughing at our chat. There's just stuff in the chat.
Okay. Anyway.
Cat Daddy, Elder Cat said your femshep looks strong enough.
You know what? My femshep ain't gonna take too much of the slander. She may be a paragon, but she will shoot you in the face. Quick, fast.
Maybe she needs some of those scars on her face by the time she get the 3 to make her stand out a little more.
You know what? I want to see what your femshep looks like, man.
I don't have one.
Exactly. That's exactly the point.
I can't be condemned for something I don't have.
Anyway.
Ooh,
so
continue, sir. All right, it's out my system now.
Okay, all right. Now. Finally, we can get back on topic. Appreciate it.
So until I see another screenshot of her.
You know what? Anyway, so we got Randy Pitchford. Dude, what are you doing?
You changed the gameplay. All right, go ahead, man.
I changed the gameplay because we're on Borderlands.
Okay, well, it just happened to be all in line with each other.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Stay on topic.
Right.
You need a moment. You need some water. You need a pill or something.
Are you gonna bring it to me?
You know what? Anyway, so Borderlands, like I was saying, Randy Pitchford says he got good news and bad news. Good news is they're bringing in crossplay for all platforms. Great. Crossplay is definitely needed for this game. It's a good game. Not as good as Borderlands 2, but it's a good game.
No, not.
But it's got a decent community, not as big as the previous Borderlands 2 community when that game first came out, but it could be bigger. And definitely any game that it relies on a community of people consistently playing it would benefit from crossplay. Because then, if you got people on one platform that want to play with another, then those people are more likely to continue to keep playing if they have people to play with. And that is something that they try to implement. Now, if you're not aware, Borderlands 3 is published by 2K, and 2K is owned by Take-Two. And Take-Two, as of yet, has never allowed any of their games that they publish to do crossplay. So that gets into the bad news where Randy Pitchford says that our publisher is blocking crossplay. So Forte, Forte, what do you think about this? Like, so because when this happened earlier, there were people who were blaming Take-Two, who was exactly hold on. There were people who were blaming Take-Two, who is exactly who Randy Pitchford was speaking of in the tweet. But it seemed the vast majority of people were blaming Sony, who is the root of all this. And so what's happening is they said that their publisher is blocking crossplay on PlayStation platforms. So that's PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Yes.
Now, why is that happening, Forte?
Because Take-Two don't want to pay that crossplay tax.
And what's the crossplay tax?
It's basically a percentage of. Epic did a really good breakdown of it during the thing, but it's basically a percentage of basically players. If their revenue exceeds a certain threshold, that the developer or publisher won't have to pay any type of royalties to PlayStation for the use of their players in other games, or not other games, but on other platforms. Versus if they lose market share, like if they're used to consistently running 70% market share when it comes to things that are bought in their store from that game, and that number dips below that, then Sony is looking at the publisher.
That's just for people who started an account on PlayStation.
On a PlayStation, but they're also playing on other accounts. So it's not saying that you can't go to your Nintendo Switch or your Xbox One or PC and spend money on the game over there. That's not the problem. The problem is when a bunch of people do it and Sony really sees a loss in market share when it comes to how much the players that bought the game or played the game predominantly or made accounts on their system, now they're spending money on other platforms, which is kind of what cross-platform play promotes, because you could play your account pretty much anywhere. That's when that tax comes into play. And we all know when it comes to Take-Two, I don't even think it's really a Borderlands thing. I think it's more of other games like 2K and stuff in Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. Because if you open up the balance sheet for a game like Borderlands that doesn't really even have microtransactions and stuff like that in the game, if you open it up for them to be able to take some of your revenue that way in that game, they gonna come after you when it comes to games like Grand Theft Auto and NBA 2K, because those games I think are next when it comes to the cross-platform play, especially the 2K. I wouldn't be surprised when the update or the new update for Grand Theft Auto comes out. Grand Theft Auto Online might be cross-platform play across all systems.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
But if it is, that's what they
well,
are
look,
trying
they've
to defend
never
themselves against.
Take-Two has
2K has never done this up until this point.
But 2K is owned by Take-Two, and Take-Two has never allowed. Hold on,
before.
Yeah, crossplay. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Enrique, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast with the $2 super chat. He says, "Take it all, Forte. Hey, slow mo." I'm gonna say, Forte, leave it on. Let's keep it going.
Leave it on.
Yeah, I don't think GTA is ever going to get crossplay, and it's because most of these companies.
At a certain point?
Well, here's why: because Take-Two doesn't want to pay that tax to Sony, like you said, and
I agree with that.
Even though they could afford to, I mean, they almost got as much money as Epic has, and Epic pays it, and Epic has the biggest game in the world.
Well, Epic also has a storefront that can mitigate a lot of that stuff,
but they're not really making a ton of money off that storefront.
Yeah, but it's still a storefront where they can entice people to come to their platform to publish and bring out their games.
But as of now, it's not like a big winner for them.
No, it's not a big winner, but it's still there. You know, they wouldn't be willing to give 80% 80% of the revenue back to the developers. Actually more than, I can't remember exactly what the number is, but they wouldn't be willing to do that if they actually wasn't trying to like really do a deep dive and make sure that developers pick them over other platforms and stuff. I just think that at a certain point, Take-Two, they don't want to just give money away. We know that they allow Grand Theft Auto to keep selling copies of the game instead of just just selling shark cards, because guess what, the numbers look good because Grand Theft Auto keeps selling, even though all you're doing is paying for shark cards at this point. That number goes up, the DLC goes up, they release extra content in the game, guess what, more shark cards get sold, and I think at a certain point, I think that is a winning formula for them, and I can definitely see them opening up crossplay in something like Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, not to PlayStation, because none of the other platforms are going to hold them to this whole give us some revenue if we lose market share when it comes to where people are actually playing the game and buying their DLC, or their shark cards and stuff.
Right.
That's going to be the thing that I think this is really targeting against. I don't really think this has anything really to do with Borderlands 3, because Borderlands 3 really doesn't have that stuff in it. This is just something to basically just grease the wheel and say, yo, if Borderlands can't do it, we definitely ain't gonna do it with our titles that we know are gonna be, you know, it's going to be something where we're like, oh man, we just sell nothing but microtransactions on this. Can you imagine them giving Sony part of what they make for 2K and microtransactions? Because
I mean, it would be less. Like well, that. I mean, I don't think it's that significant amount of
it's
money.
Not that. I mean, it was like
only triggers
$59,000.
Well, I mean, it only triggers when there's someone who plays primarily on, say, PlayStation. Let's say
people have to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless, it's like, let's say you're playing Borderlands 3 primarily on PlayStation, but you logged in on Xbox and bought your DLC, or I think they got like minor like cosmetic stuff, but I can't even remember if it's good. I never checked that stuff. Yeah, well, I know the heads are free. So it's like you kind of unlock those. They're like drops that you get, like guns. So I don't even remember if like there is any like the kind of microtransaction deal. I don't think there's any kind of microtransactions in the more modern DLC sense. Too, but like they're more like DLC, but they're like DLCs $2 or $3. Right. Yeah. So if someone says primarily plays on PlayStation, but they bought that on Xbox, that's when it kicks in and Sony's like, that $3, we want that. You know, and it's just,
well, if it hits a certain threshold, then they'll say more people are buying this on other platforms than they normally would if crossplay wasn't enabled across all platforms. That's what they're looking at.
So it's a minor amount of money. I mean, look, Rogue Company is crossplay. High Res Studios ain't bigger than Take-Two or Epic, but they do it. You know, it's like
what do they always tell you, Slow Mo? The richest people in the world are the most stingiest people in the world.
Right. But this, okay, so I have an idea. This is what I think is really going here, because I don't trust Randy Pitchford as far as I could throw him, which I can't throw him a couple of feet, so I don't trust this dude at all.
I remember we had this conversation like years ago about Randy Pitchford.
Randy is an interesting cat, right? So
I'm surprised he's still the head of that studio with all the stuff that he's been involved in.
Somehow, like, this guy has survived it all. But look, this is my thought here. Now, as crazy as Randy is, Randy's not dumb.
No, he's not dumb.
He's far from dumb. That tweet was very calculated. And if you remember, late last year, Gearbox Software, who's Randy is CEO of, Gearbox got acquired by Embracer Group.
Yep.
So they got a new lease on revenue. Embracer Group it's a big, it's a kind of little big conglomerate kind of groups, but they got money. And so now he got money, and they're supposed to Gearbox is supposed to remain independent and not supposed to interfere in anything whatsoever. And I think Randy is kind of flexing his freedom a little bit. I don't think that Randy cares for this publishing deal with 2K anymore for their biggest IP, Borderlands. And I know they're working on Borderlands 4. And I wonder if Randy's trying to weasel his way out of 2K publishing that. Because if they can self-publish the game, that's just more money for them.
Yeah,
so
true.
Why even bother with 2K? And since we know how he rolls with Alien Colonial Marines and Sega, he doesn't always end business relationships very well, right? So I think this is a flex. This is him
not trying to flex on 2K.
Well, I think he's trying to find a way out of whatever dealings with them. If you're gonna do a tweet, and most of this stuff gets, like we see all the emails from the Apple and Epic lawsuit. A lot of this stuff plays out in emails, private.
Yeah.
No one goes publicly like this and just starts talking recklessly like that about your own publisher.
Under the bus in that tweet,
and so I think that he did that on purpose because this is his opening volley into whatever he's really trying to do, which is
he knows player sentiment will always be on his side when it comes to something like crossplay. So it's easy to go out there. It's not going to be a net negative. It's not going to make the company look bad like Gearbox themselves, because it's going to make it look like they're on the side of the gamers,
right? Which I mean,
looks like by doing what
exactly,
he did.
And it's not like Randy cares about us, but as a consumer. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Brap with the $2 super chat says, question for DPS: does Randy do blow? Question mark?
I do not want to if Randy's listening, I'm not casting
Randy, you are an amazing person. Keep doing what you're doing.
Now
we do not express or consent to the things that are said on another podcast which is named Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, which Brap is the host of. We have nothing to do with that on Thursday, sir. So
that said, he does act as if he may do a little blow every now and then. I'm not saying that he does blow, but I've known people who've done blow before, and they act like Randy. So that's all I'm saying.
Lord.
He does it. I don't know if he does blow or not. He seems like he's able to run a company.
Here.
I much love to this man, and hopefully he doesn't do blow and his nostrils aren't collapsing on himself. Anyway, look.
Yeah, have a good night, Cat Daddy.
Yeah, good night, bro. That's what I think. I think this is more of him trying to flex on 2K and either get a better cut to the next Borderlands 4, or to just self-publish the game on his own and not have to even have that cut with 2K/Take-Two at all. So that's my thought on it. Well, I mean,
we know Randy likes to keep the money. So is he really going to have enough money to publish and pay all his people the money that they will be owed to make a Borderlands 4?
This is why I brought up how they got acquired by Embracer Group. So, maybe.
So he thinking Embracer Group going to be able to fund them like 2K can or Take-Two can?
That was the point. That was the point of being acquired. So that you could get funding and you could still get independence and still do your own thing.
It depends on how much royalty Take-Two gets out of Borderlands. Because there may not be any deal, but part of me always thinks because Rockstar is actually owned by Take-Two, right?
Yes.
And Gearbox isn't. They're just a second.
They've always been independent.
They're a second-tier publisher for them.
They were. Well, they're a AAA studio. They've been a AAA studio for over a decade.
They're a second party publisher.
Tons of people are second tier compared to Rockstar, but yes, yeah.
Well, yeah, compared to Rockstar, everything, even what is the studio that makes NBA? Even they're second tier compared to Rockstar.
Yeah.
Everybody's second tier compared to Rockstar, with the exception of some of the PlayStation studios. They're kind of up there.
Yeah, so
I don't know if they're there, but they're up there.
I mean, they're a AAA studio. They require a AAA budget. So
definitely.
but it's. I think the deal that he made with Embracer Group for Gearbox is might be allowing him some freedoms here when it comes to that.
Some liberties.
Yeah, some liberties. But I mean, we'll see how it plays out. We probably won't actually. We'll probably see. This is what I think is going to happen, and we could close out this topic. And of course you let me know what you think too. But I think that what's going to end up happening is that Take-Two is going to continue to go with we're not paying. They already put in the man hours to get crossplay running on all these other platforms. I think they're just going to go on without PlayStation, and so there'll be crossplay between PC, Xbox, and Stadia, but not PlayStation. Maybe between, I think you could already probably do between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 anyway, but that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get any more crossplay between on that with PlayStation and anyone else. And I think that might end up being a good thing, because as a consumer, if you want more games to go that route, and it's always it's always like the first person to jump out there and do something can cause a little bit more courage from other people. So if Gearbox is the first one to go that route and forego PlayStation crossplay, then potentially you can see other developers do that too. And if that starts to become a more common thing, then maybe Sony
got a problem.
Yeah, it's not like they got to, but they might decide
they're kind of being forced to at a certain point. It's like, for me, it comes down to, absolutely, like you said, they don't have to do anything, but at a certain point, when and this ain't even about your competitor, doing it. It's basically what a third party developer is deciding to do on their own for other publishers. And when you're the odd man out, it's kind of hard to always be the odd man out on something that is universally known as something that is a benefit to gamers in general, especially in the gaming community. So I think that's just the wrong side of the conversation they don't want to be on. But Sony can hold ground. I don't know how long they'll be able to take that stance when it comes to just continually beating that horn about we're going to keep charging people for crossplay. And like you said, it's very minuscule money. It's not a lot of money at all. But like I said, these companies didn't become billion-dollar companies by giving away little bits of money. Epic's like that case study that no one ever knew would actually be as big as they really truly are. They were already big, but they're only as big because they have a game that literally they hit the lottery with. They hit the lottery with a game that wasn't even the focus of what the game is now. Yeah. That was a completely different game. But they
were already kind of doing light publishing before. Remember, like games
light publishing. I'm just saying, but let's be for real.
But I mean, like they've always been a little bit of a different.
Yeah, Fortnite literally just did something that they never thought would ever happen, and so to them, money is no object. The fact that they can go into this $1 trillion battle with Apple, where most people wouldn't even think about going into a fight with Apple like that unless you're Amazon, Google, or Microsoft.
Right.
You know, that just lets you know right there, oh, the money's not a problem. Yeah. So them looking at $60,000 a month and giving you this because we're siphoning off some of your players for other platforms, to them, that's not a big deal because that's kind of the characteristic that they built up. For some of these other developers and some of these other publishers, they're like, we're not trying to give you anything if we ain't got to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that. I just kind of think that Sony's not going to come up off of that unless somehow their position as the industry leader in console gaming gets threatened. And I think that kind of remains to be seen in regards to like how strong their brand is worldwide versus how the amount of ground that both Nintendo and Microsoft need to make up in order to really challenge them on an annual revenue basis. I just don't think that it's until that happens, until you start to see one of them come within, say, 5 billion of what Sony is generating annually, then it's a non-starter. They're not going to it's not going to change anytime soon. Replicant, good night, bro. Always appreciate Replicant rocking out with us for as long as he can. You know, he's out there in the UK, and it's a whole different time zone, and it's super late over there. Time
zone, but he knows how to slander when he does his best because he didn't read the rest of that message. But you know, he said he hopes that Film Chef doesn't haunt his dreams.
Whatever, bro.
Listen, y'all. Listen, slow mo. Like, I'm telling you right now, as soon as he gets to Mass Effect 2 on his PC gameplay, he go change the look of that character.
See, this is you not paying attention. That is on PlayStation. My PC is a different playthrough. And regardless, I'm already on Mass Effect 2. And
so you stuck with that character for the rest of your life.
My Film Shop is hot, and you don't have one, so kick rocks.
You right.
Shout out to Donnell Brown with the $5 super chat. He says just stopping by the show. Love and Forte. Peyton still won't let me play my PS5. She loves Astrobot. Yeah, Astrobot's pretty Hey, look, man. Yeah, Astrobot even had my kids, interested in playing my PlayStation. So yeah, that game is. They restructured Sony Japan over it. So, yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to what I think what a lot of people want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is?
It was the highlight of the day.
Highlight of the day. We talking about
highlight of the day. We're talking about Horizon Forbidden West.
Good.
Or what yes. Go ahead, Slow-Mo.
Dude. All right, look, so I did a tweet the other night because, like I said, I was playing through Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was like, man, I'm just looking at how beautiful the game is on PC. And it's super beautiful, running at 120 frames per second because my PC's a beast. Yes. And at max settings, ultra settings, by the way. I just want to, throw that out there. My little humble brag. Anyway, and I'm looking at how beautiful the game is, and I'm just like, man, I wonder how good Forbidden West is going to be. Like, how good it's going to look. Not even thinking about the other stuff that they could have improved from the game, because you and I definitely got some complaints with the game.
Oh, yes, we do.
I was just kind of floored with how well they improved everything across the board. Like, of course, haven't played it yet, but
yes,
the game. So some of my complaints with the original game, I'm not going to get into the the story stuff yet. We can talk about that, but just like because story wise, we don't know anything yet. And shout out to the Ash and Luca with the $5 super chat. She says, "Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Luca. Hope you're having a good evening."
Hello, Luca.
I'm not trying to get into any of the other stuff like story wise, because we could talk about story wise with Zero Dawn, what our issues are. But from a gameplay perspective, I thought that the melee combat was lacking with the original game. And I mean, really, that's really like the only real issue I had with it. There was some other like visually, the facial expressions were all over the place, especially with some of the minor characters. But even with Aloy, her face would just be kind of, what is happening here? Like, what kind of facial expression is that? Like, does everyone have Botox? Did they all come out the little, the little this restarting of civilization with messed up faces or something? I don't understand. So I wondered like why that was. But of course, this is like Guerrilla really kind of really working with Decima Engine the first time really doing a game where you have to focus so much on close-up shots of people's faces like this, and it's really important in an action RPG. All that stuff is improved. I can see like so many details to Aloy's face now in that trailer. The facial expressions look realistic. Even the little minor soldier that she's helping, look, his face looked realistic. It looks so much better. It's crazy, right? That here we are, and I said, I probably pissed a lot of people off on Twitter, but I said, hey, look, superior talent is greater than superior hardware. How many times do we have to keep
certain people?
Hey, look, did I lie? Did I tell a lie? How many times we gotta see a Sony first party game on what is considered inferior hardware?
It's not inferior hardware, Slow-Mo.
The PS5 isn't inferior to the Xbox Series X?
Look, it's
not.
It's slightly better.
It's not. Hold up.
Slightly better.
The PlayStation 5 is slightly better than the Xbox Series X.
No, the Xbox Series X is slightly better than the PS5, but talent will always make a platform look better than other platforms. So, as of right now, PlayStation, when it comes to the visual look of their games, always, for the most part, come out looking far superior than anything that Xbox has put out. I would say that Highbusters is probably the closest that we gotten.
Let's forget that. Let's forget that completely. Yes, Highbusters does look beautiful, but Highbusters don't look like this. No,
it doesn't.
And Ratchet, I think I would say Ratchet and Clank looks better than Highbusters, and so does Miles Morales. But that's not the point. My point is, I played The Last of Us.
Blue coming through today.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I there's no bleed blue, green, red, yellow, nothing with me. By the way, I love that they added the grappling hook. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I did like that.
And to be able to go underwater. I love it. I love it. It's great. Anyway, The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2, I played that on a original PlayStation 4. And it looked better than every single game I had played on my Xbox One X. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Look, hardware is important.
It is.
It is very important.
Developers are more important.
Exactly. The talent of your developers is more important than that.
I agree with that 100%.
And that's the biggest proof you could think of.
This part of the video is the best part of the. This right here is what floored me. Underwater.
They were just showing off at this point. When I saw that part, I was just like, "Oh, y'all just showing off right now."
This is them flexing underwater, bro. I was like, "Yo, look at this." I was like, "This looks like it's underwater, and it looks vibrant. It looks lived in. It looks like this is what underwater you would think looks like in a game like this. It's incredible, bro. Like this.
Name a game that's look better than that.
Nothing up until this point, man. Especially, I mean, some people are going to take the aesthetic of the game and say, well, it's not as realistic looking as Last of Us, because I think Last of Us does have a more realistic look to it when it comes to the characters because of the environments and stuff, where this is a little bit more colorful. It has that more,
it's
not
doing more
look to it.
It's doing more.
Yeah, well, the palette is like a completely different palette to it. So it's like, it's more not cartoony. It's more of that realistic cartoony look where not Uncharted, but Last of Us is that more realistic look. And the thing I always appreciate about what Sony does with their studios is they know how to hit the mark in whatever type of game they're trying to make when it comes to a visual fidelity side of it. Ratchet & Clank looks like the best version of a game that Ratchet & Clank could be like. Spider-Man looks the best that a superhero game could look like. Horizon, whatever you want to call it, looks the best for any type of open world game that we got to this point. I mean, the only other game I could say that kind of stands up probably close to it would be Grand Theft Auto because of what they're doing in that game when it comes to the world. I think Grand Theft Auto 5, if you played on PC and the way that
I did play it on PC,
because that's a completely different type of way that game is
it's
built
a
out.
Generation old game.
It's still, man, that game looks freaking incredible. Still
no, it
today.
Doesn't.
Yes, it does.
When's the last time you played Grand Theft Auto?
Like what? 3 weeks ago.
All right, look, man, I need you to get your eyes.
And
now I know why you didn't like my film shot. Because your eyes is messed up, man.
You ain't hear me say that this doesn't look better than that. I'm saying the only game that I can see, if you're looking on a technical standpoint,
you need retina surgery.
I don't consider these games the two of the same games.
Have you tried LASIK?
LASIK?
Yes, for your eyes, because your eyes you can't see well.
This is just you just want to just. I'm not
you
even gonna say
said Grand Theft Auto.
I did not say it looked better than this. Did you hear me say it looks
Why
better?
even bring it up in a conversation?
Because people think Grand Theft Auto doesn't look as good as it actually does look, especially if you're on PC playing.
This is because they have eyes and they can see it don't look good.
Okay.
It looked good. It looked good. It looked good in 2013.
This is coming from a person that literally thinks Nintendo is worthless. So I
didn't say it was worthless. I just said that they don't have any games that benefit me.
You don't like none of their games.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Once again, moving on.
Yes, Luca, the eyesight today in the community. T. Harris telling me to cut your mic.
Cut it.
You need. We're gonna invest in some glasses.
I think the game is the best looking game that's been shown ever so far.
I'm a basically say what I think this game looks like a running cutscene.
It is a running cutscene because when they did that transition from everybody was looking at when he was talking to what's name on the ground, and it was like, is this a cutscene? Is this the game? And then when they pulled that camera back, shout out to the shot of San Francisco right here in the screenshot. But when they pulled that camera out, we was like, oh yeah, this is gameplay and this is in-game running. Shout out to the Breath of the Wild umbrella right there. Just saying.
Yeah, they do it better than Breath of the Wild.
Oh Lord,
Breath of the Wild is overrated.
Now the game looks better than Breath of the Wild. I'll give them that.
I mean, the first game looked better than Breath of the Wild.
It sure did, but there were some things that Breath of the Wild did that game didn't do.
Like what?
A lot of things. It
like what? Name one.
Actually compelling.
It's Zelda.
It's supposed to have a story that's compelling.
If you play one Zelda game, you play them all. Like, what's the big difference?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Look.
Each Zelda game has a different.
I'm not saying.
Listen, we're not going to turn this. We're not going to turn this topic into a Zelda versus Horizon Zero Dawn topic.
Okay, we don't have to. Let's just talk about.
Because that's where you about to go with this.
No, because we all know Horizon Zero Dawn is better. Anyway, look, let's talk about Horizon Zero Dawn's story for a moment.
Okay.
Now I finished the game earlier today, finally. And I agree.
You took some really good screenshots. I like those screenshots you took.
Oh, thank you. I try to get my photo mode game, on point. But we talked about before how we had issues with the story. And so upon finishing it, I found myself really being invested in the story later on in the game, invested in what was going on and who Alloy is, and everything that happened in the past that led up to where the world is at this time. And I was like, by the way, that explosion in the body flying off the top of that robot elephant, amazing. Anyway, look, you see the lasers going through the sand. Let me stop. That Decima engine is
you having your moment right now.
Right. Decima engine is a beast. Anyway, so my issue with the story, I think it's a good story. The problem isn't the actual story, it's the pacing of it. The pacing of Horizon Zero Dawn's story it makes sense considering this is like really their first foray in a story driven RPG. It makes sense that they would make this kind of mistake. But nonetheless, that's the reason why so many people, or not like a ton of people, because there's still a lot of people who played through the game, finished it, enjoyed it. But there are also a significant number of people who dropped it. And I think they dropped it because the main plot, you get a glimpse of it in the beginning with Alloy as a child getting her echo and going through the abandoned building and seeing what's left of like these logs of people who have been dead for centuries. But the story doesn't pick back up for a long time. And that was the most interesting part of the entire story, was what happened, how we got to this point, who Alloy is, what's really going on, what's really, what is this story really about? And you don't get that. You're dealing with the Carta, you're dealing with these weirdo people and they're all Mother Mountain. And you're just like, I don't care about any of this stuff.
All mother, baby, all mother.
Lucas says, is that how you say her name? Aloy, you know who I'm talking about.
Aloy.
Anyway, so that's the main issue. The issue is that the story doesn't pick back up until like halfway through the game. By the time you get to the bunker where you find out what happened to Elizabeth Talbot, who is like the person that Aloy, whatever, thinks is her mother. That's when you're like, oh, okay, now this is getting interesting. Now you're knowing what happened to the old world. Now you're knowing what like, why are there these robots roaming the planet? What are they about? All that stuff, and to see like the sacrifices that were made, it was really good at that point. Now, my issue is that they should have split that up. Everything, because it's a huge exposition dump. There's literally like you just standing there and listening to logs and reading logs for like 45 minutes. And that's like catching you up on the story, but look, you should have spread that out. That should have been spread out throughout all of the game. And it's just like I think that's a mistake on the narrative team of Guerrilla's part, and hopefully that's something that's rectified in Forbidden West. That's the only thing so far that I think has not really been addressed yet. Everything else, any other complaints I had with the game, the facial expressions when they're speaking, the lack of actual melee combat, like all that stuff it looks amazing. It looks like they've addressed everything. Now, I've done a lot of talking. You, dude.
No, you're good, man.
Tell me.
You in your element right now, man. You know, ain't no problem.
All right. What did you think about everything? And then tell me your thoughts on the story of Zero Dawn. But first, definitely get into what you thought about Forbidden West.
Okay, so Forbidden West, when I saw it, I was like, yo, okay, this is what we talking about when it comes to next generation graphics. You know, I think the game really showcased what the PS5 can do. And this is only the beginning of what the PS5 can do, because I think they're going to be able to get even more out of that system by the time we get, towards the end of the generation. We're going to see this is nothing compared to what we're going to get later on. So definitely think they did a really good job in that presentation. 14 minutes of gameplay. Amazing. I really truly like what they showed there. You can ride pretty much anything. Like you can ride Predators now compared to before. It was like
it was just the Chargers,
like Chargers and Bulls and stuff is the only thing you could ride in the first one. So they kind of expanded that a little bit more to you. They kept a lot of the elements that a lot of people really enjoyed in the first game, and I think that is a really, really good thing. For me, the problem with Horizon for me has never been any of the things that they shown. Like you went off and talked about facial animations and stuff like that. Yeah, they were a problem, but that never really threw me off at all. It was just like, okay, they just need to do a little bit better with their facial animations. We're also talking about a studio that's never really made an open world game like this before at that point, because they were pretty much predominantly just Killzone at that point. Right. And it's kind of more of a linear type game. So I think their first attempt in doing that was, I'm not going to say it was flawless, but it was pretty incredible for their first attempt doing it. So I was willing to overlook a lot of that stuff just based on that, off of the theory that's their first time doing it. My problem with Horizon has always just been the pacing, like you said, in the story. I had 26 hours in that game when I put it down. And most of that had to do with the fact that, I'm a huge Zelda fan, and Zelda was coming out, and I put over 100 hours in that game. Go ahead.
We actually got 2 super chats from Donnell Brown back to back now, and it looks like he has to go. So I wanted to definitely say his super chats real quick before he leaves, and let him know that we appreciate him donating with the super chat. So Donnell Brown, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, I see Sony fans loving Jim Brown. Or was that Jill? No, I'm sorry. I said Jim Brown.
Jim
Brown. Oh man. Okay. Look, I did a Forte just now. Jim Brown is a Cleveland Browns running back. He said Jill Ryan, okay, which I don't know if that's intentional or not.
Daniel Brown with the $5 super chat.
Donnell Brown. You said Daniel.
Jill Ryan.
Donnell.
Jill Ryan.
Forte.
Forte. I know it's Donnell.
Yeah, but you can't get on him for saying Jill when you said.
I know he called him. He meant to call him Jill.
I don't know if he did or not. He may have.
I think he meant to call him Jill.
All right. Anyway, I see Sony fans loving Jill Ryan after. I don't know. Jill Ryan after they wanted him gone. LOL. Give the man his flowers. He is doing his job. All right, and then the second super chat, another $5 super chat. Thank you again. And one more before I go. Sony or Xbox won't have the biggest game this holiday. That will belong to Nintendo. Pokemon Day. One Piece. Listen to later. You know what? You was doing so well, man.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen,
you were doing so well.
No, these people out here don't know that all of this stuff that's happening, all of these games that's being announced, I don't care what. Sony can come out with whatever game this holiday they want to. Xbox can have the greatest experience ever shown for you when it comes to Halo, and Starfield could come out this year. But ain't nothing gonna touch those Pokemon games when they come out at the end of the year.
That's just say y'all need me to come in and read super chats for y'all. We struggling right now. We might need somebody to do that. Let me just say this real quick. You and shout out to the homie Donnell, but both of y'all are wrong. Both of y'all are so look. Pokemon isn't running anything. You want to put a game on that? You want to put a game on that?
All
right. What the term say?
Pokemon one. Well, I won't even take both Pokemon. Just one Pokemon game will win NPD for the month of that month.
Oh, that's not that. Of course, that's going to happen. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about quality games. Holiday. Biggest game of the holiday. All right. Which one of these is Pokemon going to win Game of the Year?
Pokemon never wins it, but it sells the most.
It doesn't sell the most over like for the annually for the entire year. It's not. It's gonna be top 10 definitely. But Pokemon isn't
for that holiday.
It's not up. It's not gonna stop Call of Duty.
Well, is Call of okay? Well, are you saying that Call of Duty is gonna be your biggest game this year?
It's gonna outsell Pokemon.
But are you saying that is going to be your biggest game for this year? Because I'm telling you
I
right now,
don't even
Pokemon
play Call of Duty.
When it comes to the game that I think is going to be one of the biggest games, I think Pokemon is going to be one of them. What do you say? What do you think is going to beat Pokemon other than Call of Duty? Because I know you don't care about Call of Duty. You care about Horizon. You care about games like that. So do you think Horizon Zero Dawn is going to do better than Pokemon?
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 4 years ago. So Horizon Forbidden West.
But that's what the homie just said, though. The homie just said no matter what Sony or Xbox do, the biggest game that they may have this year still will belong to Nintendo.
He didn't say all that.
Said.
He said the biggest game this holiday, which isn't specifically a Sony or Xbox game
this holiday that will belong to Nintendo.
Nobody will have. None of these platforms are going to have the biggest a first party game be the biggest game this holiday. It's going to be Call of Duty.
It's going to be. He said Sony and Xbox, not
won't have the biggest game this holiday. That is the
this is you
reward. That is the goal. Biggest game this holiday.
Shout out to the chat. Can y'all hear Slow-Mo out here moving goalposts right now? Right?
I'm reading what he said, and based off of what he said, none of them. I agree with the first part. Hold on.
He said Sony and Xbox, meaning Sony's first party and Xbox's first party.
Forte, I'm looking at the super chat. I'm looking at the super chat. Okay. Do you need me to read it for you again? I can do that.
Oh my god! All right.
And one more before I go. Here. Sony or Xbox won't have the biggest game this holiday. That would belong to Nintendo.
Yes,
Pokemon Day 1. Biggest
Sony
game this holiday.
The biggest game.
No, we will move on because.
And honestly, if you take those two Pokemon games and put them together, they might outsell Call of Duty.
Why would you do that?
Now, individually, because they're the same. Well, you got to remember those games are technically the same game.
No. That's just because y'all fall for the Nintendo hustle. We don't have. No one else is going to actually fall for that foolishness. They're independent games that you guys spend.
Did you say people do it all the time, Slow-Mo? They buy both copies of the game.
Well, look, I don't care about how Nintendo hustles y'all out of buying two games. So it ain't got nothing to do with me. All I'm saying is that Call of Duty will outsell Pokemon.
Okay.
Moving.
I'm not gonna. Well, then again, you don't got to play. You only got to buy Call of Duty to play Warzone, so that might even be a misnomer.
But people still buy it anyway. Like Warzone was out 2 years ago, and people bought the one that came out last year.
We'll see.
So look,
you want to put something on that Slow-Mo?
Let's put a game on it.
We'll put a game on it. You know what? I'll put a game on it.
We
will either one of these Pokemon games outsell Call of Duty.
We will revisit this. Wait,
hold on.
That
they come out. I think they both come out in November.
Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing.
They both come out in November.
He said biggest game this holiday. How many months is the holiday?
Oh my god.
See, you lost. That's why you trying to narrow it down to just November.
Okay, Slow-Mo.
It's sad. It's so sad. Sad.
Wait. Okay, so if you get all of Call of Duty, I get both Pokemon games combined.
No.
Pokemon sells on one system.
So?
No. If you get Call of Duty in general, meaning you get last gen, current gen,
first of all,
both platforms.
How can you even measure that if you look at NPD? NPD doesn't give you the numbers.
They do. They tell you can literally look at NPD and see where they're actually. If you look at NPD, they tell you in what order.
Rex Ramos Studio wants to know define biggest. At this point, Rex, we're defining biggest based off of sales. So sales for this holiday.
Pokemon.
Yeah, look. These are the rules that I am agreeing to.
I'm agreeing to rules that I get Pokemon. I get both Pokemon games, and you get every game.
The sales we are charting are from launch to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's individual game. not like whatever bundle crap that Nintendo.
They actually do. No, and they actually do announce what Call of Duty isn't Xbox or PlayStation. They actually announce their numbers across all platforms.
Well, PlayStation announces their numbers too. The only one who doesn't really is Xbox. But regardless.
No, I'm saying, but Call of Duty is not like you won't know how many copies of Call of Duty sold for the holiday. They'll tell you. So you're telling me, so you're trying to put me in a pigeonhole because you know they're when they announce Call of Duty.
You realize you already lost.
No. They're going to announce Call of Duty for all platforms, and if they're going to announce Call of Duty for all platforms, I want both Pokemon games to be combined because they're going to announce them. They're basically going to announce them.
Fine, Forte.
All right, then.
Combine.
There we go.
Combine.
Fair is fair. Let's go. Game on the line. You going to be buying me a game? That's okay.
No, I'm not. Anyway, let's back on topic. And what's up, One Bad Mother in the chat, and that guy Smitty. Hope you guys are having a good night.
See, even that guy Smitty said that's a fair bet right there.
Man, whatever, Smitty. It's I'm gonna let him have it because he's gonna keep crying about this all night.
Because I already know that's the path to winning.
I'm gonna win. So that's all that we need to know. Anyway, back to Horizon. Well, first we were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. So I said the story's actually good. Now I don't know how far you got into to the story, but I got past
what was the name of the Meridian? Is that the name of the castle? I can't remember.
Yes, that's the city.
I got to the first or second quest after that. And
okay, so you haven't you don't know who Aloy really is. You don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get to that point.
You don't know what happened to civilization in the past. You don't know how the world got to where it is. It's a lot there. That's a really good story.
I believe it.
But it's just that it's poorly paced. And I can't blame you for being so bored with it that you didn't go pick it back up and didn't really get a chance to experience all of that, because that's on them. They didn't pace it well enough.
Because I rebought the game on PC thinking,
but you had to start over though.
Well, I didn't mind starting over. It was just the more of like, well, maybe playing it on PC, playing at a higher fidelity, that would kind of get me back into the game. But then as I was playing it, it was like, I was just like, oh no, I made it back to Marine and I was just like, no, I just don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I think seeing this gameplay of part 2, it's probably going to have that Mass Effect 2 effect on me, where it's going to make me want to go back, because the one thing is I do want to know why this all happened and how all this happened. So I might more than likely go through and just truck it through the first one, because it's only like a 30-something hour game. I might go ahead and truck it through there, because I do hear that once you get past the middle part of the game, it does open up a lot. And then the Frozen Wild is something that's even better than the base game, for what most people are telling me.
Yeah, so, I'm going to do the Frozen Wild. What I don't like, and I've said this before, because I didn't like it with the Outer Worlds. I don't like, and I even said this back in the day with Mass Effect 3 and the Arrival DLC. We need to answer this question, because he asked it twice. He asked Forte and Slow-Mo, do you think Gears 5 High Buster looks better? I do not think it looks better. Gears 5 High Buster looks amazing. It looks beautiful. I do not think it looks better than this. I think Horizon Forbidden West looks better. I think if you look at them both in a vacuum, they're not, I'm not going to say they're comparable to each other, but when you're looking at Gears, you're looking at more of that grimy, dusty look that Gears really does very, very well, where the colors really pop. But he's talking specifically Hive Busters, and you've only played 5 minutes of Hive Busters. Well, no, just from what I've seen of Hive Busters, I mean, dude, just looking at that, I'm like, dude, this is the best thing that's on Xbox when it comes to looking at it. That's but you haven't seen the best of Hive Busters. Oh yeah, but what I'm just saying, from what I saw, I can only go off what I saw, and what I saw is this game kind of does a better
a better job of just the color palette, whereas Gears has always not. It's not that they have struggled with it because they never really focused on the colors like that. It's always been that grimy, dirty, gray and brown game that they've kind of portrayed themselves in. I mean, outside of the look of the armor and stuff, where they have the lights and stuff on them, is pretty much where you get your color from. But I just think it's kind of hard to compare those games. Like look at the gameplay, look at the skybox, look at the clouds in the sky. Now, some people probably say it looks kind of painted, but I think that's the best example that you made. It seems like you're just walking through it's like you're walking through a cinematic right now.
Yeah,
and
it looks that good. Yeah.
That's how good the game looks. It looks like it could be a cinematic, and if a person would say, yo, this isn't gameplay, it's a lot of people be like, yo, I can't believe this is gameplay. And until we actually got a chance to see it, and I still don't think people are going to think this is gameplay until they actually get the system in their hand. But guess what?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for people to be all like, that wasn't true. Where's the downgrade
exactly.
at? That all that foolishness.
Well, they definitely didn't downgrade it because they pretty much gave you exactly what they showed you a year ago in that little snippet of that trailer, CG trailer that they gave you. So the game looks phenomenal. But Hivebusters, the little that I did play of it, that's by far Xbox's best looking game, the little bit I played of it. But to compare that game to a game that's launching on the next gen console, I do understand that it is coming to PS4 too. But I just think that this is above and beyond. But guess what? On June 13th, we have an opportunity for Microsoft to shut all this down, and let's hope they actually show us something that can compete with something that looks like this.
Hopefully we do see something like that. Hopefully Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite has the opportunity. Take it easy, Dave. Dave Folker in the chat said, catch you guys later. Take it easy, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, later, Dave.
Hopefully we will see Halo Infinite because they're definitely going to show it, and they definitely have to show gameplay. They have to show gameplay, and it has to look better than it looked last year. So hopefully Halo Infinite, it looks comparable. We'll see what happens. But moving on, because I know we going a little long with the topics here.
I think you're right. I just think today is going to be one of those days where you're going to hear a lot of opinions around Horizon. It's going to be a lot of hype just because it's something new. Some people are going to go back and remember when we first saw Halo, we were like, oh, we loved it. But then after further inspection, we was like, yo, we loved it.
I love the gameplay because the gameplay
was fire.
The game that was the best 343 has done in capturing
gameplay.
Bungie's
the rest of it was
feel for the Bungie's gunplay for Halo, but the draw distance, the lighting, the pop in, like all that stuff, none of that stuff looked next gen. That looked like that would have looked good for like last gen gameplay. But, before we go any further,
you get that.
Got that super chat for Iron Lord's podcast, Mr. Lord Cognito in the house. $10 super chat says working on IOP business stuff, but listening to my homies in background, have great discussions, different opinion on gaming. Hashtag the Lord's work, Cognito. Bro, good to hear from you, man. Hope you're not working too hard. I know you work nights, man, but hope we are kind of trying to keep that work shift speeding through pretty quickly.
Well, he out here trying to write that introducing. Trying to whatever person who's going to be on IOP this week. He's in his bag right now, trying to get that hype out there. All right. Shout out to you, bro.
Did you get a chance to see the Dying Light 2?
I did.
What were your thoughts on it?
It was good. I think overall they are heading. Well, first of all, it's good to actually see that this game is actually a thing, because for a long time we kept hearing, is this game actually still coming out? Is it real? Is it this? Is it that? Last time we seen anything was E3 2019, where they had the event on Xbox's stage where they showed off the
I thought
tower
it
and
was.
everything.
I thought it was
Yeah.
later than
Was it
that.
18? Was it? I think it wasn't 20 because we didn't do anything at 20.
I thought it was like 2017 when they first showed it. No.
You
I'm
said
sorry.
you
You're right.
meant
No, you're right. Because they did show it in the video. They said their E3 2019 demo. So yeah, it's definitely 2019.
Yeah.
But we heard so
2019.
many bad things. Chris Avalon left the
Yep.
team. They had a lot of people leaving, and then there was the reports about the distrust and issues internally going on with leadership and the developers. I even did a video while I'm wondering if the game was going to be canceled because we hadn't heard anything from them in so long. And
Exactly.
I'm glad it's not. I wasn't a fan of the first Dying Light, but
Same.
it has a hardcore community that's definitely in love with that game and have been eagerly anticipating this one. I thought the game looked good.
It looked great.
Yeah, I really like the parts, and it's probably gonna come up in the footage that I got playing right now. But the melee combat, with the just hacking limbs off, I was like, look, that almost got me kind of like, I might have to try this out. What did you think about that?
No, I think that's always a good thing. I think in a game like this, there should be no substitute for gore when you're cutting limbs off. And I think overall, they just took that to kind of another level, that even more than they did in the first one. Like you, I really wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I think everybody knew what the biggest mechanic of the first one is. When you go outside at night, everything changes. The day-night cycle was the big lure of the first game. And they weren't lying, because when you played at night, it was two different games when you played it. So the fact that they're opening it up to more of a bigger hub area where you can actually roam around and you actually have tasks and stuff to do, I think that's really cool. The fact that I do like the fact that they actually made it so this is a game that you really don't have to have played the first one to really
that was just the question that Rex Ramos had in the chat. He said he didn't play the first one. Do you need to play the first one to understand the second one? And I don't think that's the case. I think
they said it takes 20 years after the first one. They said they already had quarantined the city. They already squashed somewhat of the virus for quite some time, but the city did fall to the virus. So there's a lot of undertones there that if you are familiar with the original game, that you will find of note in this game. But the fact that it is so far removed away from the story of the original, you could basically pick this game up and not even really miss a sweat when it comes to just enjoying the game. But of course, like any other game that has a sequel to it or a prequel to it, is always going to be in your best interest if you really want to get the best out of the best out of it that you can get is go back and play the original ones. But I thought that was a really good move by separating it as far as they actually did. And I like some of the elements they put into the game. I think the parkour in this game is going to be phenomenal. I think the parkour in the first one was really good, but I can see Mirror's Edge levels of parkouring in this game, but in a third person environment. I think that is something that a lot of people are going to be very, very excited for. Just the ability to traverse through environments in the day or in the night. I just think that those are all going to be different things, and to know that they kept
looking
that
at
whole
this part of the night with him running around and just
running around the city is really cool.
You know what's funny? Look, just call them zombies, man. Why every game they got zombies and they gotta call them something different? Walkers, freakers. You know, like it's always something. You know, like draggers or whatever. Clickers. You know, just call them zombies.
They're all one. They're like all one syllable words too.
Yeah, right. Unlike Horizon Forbidden West, we did get a release date for Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2.
Oh, speaking of why you said that, what do you think? Yeah, I meant that bring that up to you about the release date. How do you feel that Horizon Zero Dawn didn't get a release date?
I think they're just unsure. I think it's definitely coming out this year. I think for them to show this the way they did, they showed it very similar to how they've showed Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2 before they came out, and they usually came out
Right.
like 2 months or so
Right.
before, I mean after that, the big blow up reveal of it. So I
Yeah.
think it's probably going to be like this summer or August or something like that.
Right.
Sony doesn't normally release their first party titles really late in the year unless it's like, for example, they launched the console last year, so that's why they released Demon Souls and Miles Morales when they did, because it's just you need to have something coming out with the console you just released. That's traditionally what people do when they release a console, but
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think it
just
would be like the summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to talk about this year. I just feel a certain way about them making us. Well, they didn't make you do anything, but some people literally sat and they had the audacity to make you sit for 5 hours listening, watching landscape and ambient music backgrounds and not give you a release date. I just thought that was crazy. I was like, yo, this is a 5-hour countdown. I was like, surely they're going to give you a release date after making you sit there for 5 hours. And guess what? I looked at it because I refused to do it. I was like looking at the PlayStation thing, the PlayStation YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, there's over 300,000 people and this thing got like an hour and a half left before it starts. I was like, there's no way.
It's the hype, man.
So listen, that's the PlayStation hype right there, man. So I'm never going to be against that. I just thought that there was be no way that they wouldn't have gave us a release date. I was thinking like, well, at least they're going to probably give us a release date because they're going to make you wait 5 hours for the live stream, and they didn't do that. And that's pretty much Sony saying we're in control of this, and we're going to use this hype not only today to get you hyped for the game, we're going to use the hype of giving you the release date later on to solidify the hype around it. So
I think they're probably
that's what I think about it.
They're probably announced the release date at whatever their equivalent to E3 conferences. Yeah, whether that's in June or July, that's probably where they'll be like, and coming out next month or September or something like that would be Horizon Forbidden West. I don't think it's going to end up being 2022. Now, this game, Dying Light 2,
get back to that.
Okay, so their release dates for December 7th. And usually I'm very leery of release dates for games that late in the year because it always seemed like that's not a great time to release a game because like you're kind of catching the holiday, you're catching it after Black Friday, after where, usually October is November where most of the holiday games get launched at. Mm-hmm. Most people don't really want to launch in December unless they got to. Like, for example, Cyberpunk launched in December. Why? Because it had to, even though it shouldn't have, because it wasn't ready. And so I kind of wonder if that's the case with Dying Light 2, that it's really just not, they're really coming in hot and they don't think it would be ready at any other month, but they want to have it out this year, which I would say if that's the case, please delay it. Like it would suck and people would be angry, but at least the game would be a better game, better experience at launch if you do so. So
they might be looking at it something like how Immortal Phoenix Rising did, where they came out. What was it, December 2nd, or I think it was December 4th that they released.
That's true. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was one of the latest games that came out, and I think at a certain point, if your game is good, is going to sell no matter what. The fact that they're missing Black Friday, and the thing about games like this, normally games like this, unless you're like Cyberpunk, you're not going to really sell at a full price click because people are looking for discounts around that time of year. So once you kind of get past the Thanksgiving holiday, it's pretty much just, if it's available, people are going to buy it. And there has been a huge resurgence on zombie type games and just mayhem when it comes to stuff like this. So I think the game will do well. A lot. It's more than enough people that's been excited to get into this game again. Like you said, it has a very, very big loyal cult following. So I think the game will do well amongst the people that are excited for it. Is it going to capture extra people, like how like Halo probably will, like Horizon Zero Dawn will, like Call of Duty consistently does every year. I don't think it would do that, but I do think that even if they was to bring it out in February, is it really going to do that much better? I think releasing it during the busiest time of year, where there's at least more people's eyes that can see the games on a shelf, or when they log into their PlayStation store or their Xbox store and they see the game sitting there at the front of their dashboard, I think that is probably a bigger chance for them to like get more people into the ecosystem than it is to like say, oh, we're the biggest game that's coming out this year, but do you really care about that game? Because during the holidays, you're willing to spend money just to buy games no matter what. But
that's from a sales perspective. From a consumer perspective.
Well, no, because from a consumer perspective, most people don't like. At that point, people are broke. Let's be for real.
I mean, it's not like it's going to cost you. It's a $60 game.
It's a $60 game. Well, first of all, if you're on Xbox, you're not used to buying games no more. Let's be for real.
Here we go.
You're not used to buying games. That's just being for real.
Hey,
if you're on Xbox, do you really want to buy games? You don't want to buy them. You want everything to be in Game Pass.
Hey, I don't own the Xbox. You talking to? Hey, 54 people here right now in the chat that own Xboxes. Let Forte know if you still willing to buy games or not, because he apparently is under the impression that y'all don't buy games no more.
No. I'm under the impression if they ain't got to, they ain't gonna buy games. If that game,
MLB The Show, it was number 2 on Xbox in April.
Oh, you know what? Let me ask you a question. So you're trying to say, so we're gonna talk about the fact that games that are in Game Pass, his Game Pass, that they're still gonna buy it. Who's gonna buy it? Why would you buy it? Unless it's going out of the service.
MLB The Show 21. Was number 2. Hold up. Let me.
Slow. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody that has an Xbox. If you play MLB The Show and you have Game Pass, did you not if you have Game Pass. If you're on Xbox and you play MLB The Show, type 1 if you played it in Game Pass, or 2 if you actually bought it outright. I definitely want to hear it. I want to see this, because trust me, if they're on Xbox, more than likely they just played it in Game Pass.
Bro. Did you hear what I said? Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
Mitchie Dice says I still buy games even if they're in Game Pass. I do too after they come out.
This is MPD, Executive Director and Video Game Industry Analyst Matt Piscatella here. Yes. And let's look down this list. Okay, so you see what this says here?
I see what it says there.
April 2021 U.S. Top 20 Video Games, all platforms. Number 1, MLB The Show.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
But it's sold more on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Where is that?
Go ahead.
Xbox. What does that say, Forte?
Let me see. I can't see it yet because you're lagging behind.
Okay. Well, look, there it is. I'll tell you what it says.
I see it right here.
The only game that outsold it.
Number 2 was MLB The Show.
The only game that outsold it was Call of Duty.
Okay.
So, what I'm trying to say is that it being in Game Pass didn't apparently stop it from selling.
No,
and so people
who
on Xbox
that it was
actually
stop people from doing
plenty of people
have
been saying that. But regardless of that, this kind of proves that people will buy games on Xbox. But
people buy games because there's people out there that want to buy games, and there's people out there that don't want to be tied to a subscription service.
You said
a lot of people
don't buy games on Xbox. This is somebody buying.
You know exactly what I mean by that. We're talking about people in this community. Just like if you look at the chat right now, we got we got 1, 2. Shout out to Stanley Frank. Never mind. I almost said that wrong. But shout out to Stanley for saying exactly what he said. He said he actually buys his games. Me, Taz, that guy Smitty, Newman, Magnificent Black, Cognito. We all about that Game Pass life, bro. If that game is in Game Pass, why buy it? Unless it's coming out and we got to pay for it to keep it.
Hey, well, apparently people didn't wait. They saw it. They liked it. They bought it for a discount. And look, that is something.
Look, Sam Walton said he bought it on. He bought that bad boy on PS5 because he needed that DualSense feel.
That's fine, and everyone's free to make those kind of choices. But what I'm saying is that,
what would you have bought the game if you were on Xbox? Would you have bought it?
And I really liked it.
Slow-mo, if you have Game Pass, sir,
yeah.
So you telling me that you would have just bought the game instead of getting it in Game Pass day one?
Well, I would get it with of course I would get it with in Game Pass the Game Pass to try it out. But if I really liked it and I said, man, I can see myself really playing this, yeah, I would buy it.
No. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's the thing. A lot of people see. Look, I think there's a misconception here. When I say basically people getting games in Game Pass because you never had an opportunity until this point that Xbox has made it so you can actually just basically test games out for free inside of a service that you're into. I'm not saying that people won't go out and buy the game after the fact, because guess what? I know a lot of people that downloaded games in Game Pass and really love them.
And that's digital sales not included. That's physical sales.
Yeah, that's at the store, and that should
even better. That's even
promoted in store.
That's even better. That means it could be, if digital sales, it could be Call of Duty. It could have been number one, just like how it was number one on PlayStation.
Yeah, okay.
That's just straight physical sales, and physical sales is like 40-45% of all sales.
Yes. And
I'm proving my point here. You're like, people don't buy games on Xbox. People apparently buy games on Xbox. And yes, Cognito, yes, Cognito. That's all physical sales. Yeah, I was shocked as much as you, because everybody been telling me what I need to buy games for. I got Game Pass, baby. I got Game Pass. I don't need to buy no games. And look, people buying games. That's in Game Pass. The same thing happened with Outriders. Outriders showed up. And even though it's a broken game, people can fly, need to get their stuff together. But that game showed up, was on Game Pass day and date, and it charted big time. It was top 3.
Well, listen, we buy games. I mean, just like Everborn. Shout out to Everborn Saga with the $5 super chat. What's up, fellas? I only buy games if they are not in Game Pass. Also, sidebar: would you agree that if 343 fixes the graphics, the game will be a hit? That's a loaded question right there, sir.
It's a whole lot more. See, like
a whole lot more to them having to fix that game.
Yeah, see, there's a whole lot more to that than just the visuals. Because, look, we liked what we saw from the actual gameplay, but I don't know anything from the story. I even did a video about this where I said that I didn't like how they were doing too many callbacks. It seemed to me they were doing too many callbacks to Halo Combat Evolved, and I used some parallels. That gameplay reveal showed Shepard and that soldier crashing on the Halo ring.
Did you just call him Shepard?
I did call him Shepard. Man, I am all over the place with it. Master Chief. No, yo, wouldn't it be awesome to have Shepard in the head? Let me stop. All right, look.
I'm listening. He's like Shepard crashing on a ring. Mass Effect spinoff.
Let's do it. Mass Effect spinoff, man.
Mass Effect on a Halo ring. Let's go.
I want to see.
Happened if Xbox would have did their due diligence and bought BioWare 20 years ago.
Exactly. I want to see Shepard. I want to see my Shepard team up with Master Chief and take out a Reaper. That's what I want to see. Somebody make it happen.
Cognito says Master Shepard.
No, okay, look. This is what I was saying. When Master Chief and that soldier crash on the Halo ring, and she comes out and he says he got to take down these 3 battery guns, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember
the 3 artillery tanks.
Yeah. The Combat Evolved second mission. You crash on the Halo ring after the Covenant take down the Pillar of Autumn.
Yes, I'm glad.
Chief comes out. Chief comes out, and he takes down 3 Covenant positions. It reminded me of The Force Awakens. How The Force Awakens is like this big tribute to A New Hope.
A New Hope.
Where it's just callbacks to story beats from that movie, which Force Awakens wasn't a bad movie, but you can't be better or on par with the thing that you are basically propping up. You're using all of its story beats to do your story beats. And so right. and that's not the only one. There was another one that I had in my video, but I can't remember right now. But that kind of stuff kind of worried me, because I never liked that when it's supposed to be a chronological sequel, like a continuation of the story, but you're doing the same stuff that the previous game did. I don't like that. Give me something different and new. Like, that's not what I want. And I think, and I fully understand a lot of the Halo community wanting I want my Halo. That's all they want.
They just want their Halo, man.
But I'm sorry, look, even as someone who old school Halo, Combat Evolved, up all night till the sun comes up, playing multiplayer, hang 'em high with my boys. Old school, like before there was Xbox Live, like 4 Xboxes connected to a Switch, 4 TVs, 4 split screen, getting it in. I'm that old school Halo player, yet I still want this thing to evolve. Look, no disrespect to anyone that feels this way. Rex Ramos even said it already that he's anti-sprint. I think that's crazy. In 2021, we can't have sprint. You can't let Master Chief run. He's an enhanced soldier with enhanced armor, and he can't run. We gotta get with the times, man. It is not 2003 anymore. It's 2021. So those are my concerns with Halo Infinite. I'm telling you, if it's amazing, I'm gonna be the first one on Twitter shouting in all caps, Halo Infinite is lit. I can't stop playing it. That's going to be me all day, every day. But I gotta be like, I think they care too much about what the old school Halo player thinks. But the old school Halo player is slowly dwindling out. They slowly get more responsibilities to stop becoming gamers. Some of them die. We getting old out here. But you know who's not going nowhere? The younger generation. And you need to, and this is your biggest IP, you need to make sure your biggest IP can resonate and be something that is interesting to people who are brand new to it. And you're going to get some gamers who have never played Halo before. Their only understanding of the Master Chief is his getting his skin in Fortnite. You want to get those guys into Halo. So yeah, look, that's all I gotta say. I'm ranting. My bad. Forte, what do you think?
No, you're good, man. You're good. Look, man, Halo is Halo at this point. I think when it comes to what a lot of people are going to be looking, I think a lot of people want different things from Halo. Some people want to have a component of the single player that finally lives up to the expectations and the beliefs of what they believe a Halo game should be, because it's been quite some time since people really truly got that. Even knowing Halo 4 was definitely one of the best single players that Bungie has ever made for a Halo game. Not Bungie, 343 has made for a Halo game. It still falls in comparison to what everybody is kind of used to. So we're just waiting for 343 to kind of put that all together. I don't want to put any added pressure on that studio because they already have enough pressure on them. I do think that the visuals being better will definitely go a very, very long way. But overall, I think they need to really focus in on the experience of what a Halo can be. Like Taz just said in the chat, he says the movement in Halo Guardians was amazing, and I agree 100% with him. They need to kind of take that philosophy and find a way to bridge that gap between the people that like to play games like Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite and stuff, and bring those people in. I think they do a really good job on the PC side of the platform, but what are they going to do to bring people back to the console side? Because that's where the bulk of their players are, and that's where people are the hungriest. So I do agree. I think there's a lot of different things they need to do. Shout out to Everborn Saga with another $5 super chat. I need a game where Commander Shepard, Marcus Phoenix, and Master Chief have to team up and save the galaxy, Avenger style. And yes, all I want is my Halo. And yes, that's the biggest thing. That's all everybody wants, is just their Halo. There's a reason One Bad Mother just said it in the chat. Master Chief Collection sold 10 million plus on the PC to people, and that's because, first of all, they never really got a chance to play a lot of those games because they were either available only on a Windows Store where nobody buys games, or on console. And Halo, let's be for real, is amazing on the PC platform, especially if you're playing on Steam. So there is a very, very hungry player base out there that definitely is going to be looking forward to with their eyes on the prize when Xbox finally does showcase this game. I think that's going to be the thing that's really going to stand tall when it comes to Xbox, because I think their E3 showcase is going to predominantly be mostly about what they're doing to fix and appease the people when it comes to Halo. And one last thing, Cognito, I just looked at the Xbox store. Did you see that your favorite game, G.I. Joe Operation Blacklight, is on sale for $13.49? I need you to go buy that, sir, because you said you was going to buy it when it was on sale. So I'm just being a good friend and letting you know that your game that you want to buy is on sale. Back to you, Slow-Mo.
Yeah, I was taking care of something real quick. Did you get Everborn's super chat?
Yes, I just read it.
Okay, cool. Everborn, thank you for that super chat. My thoughts on that, Commander Shepard, Marcus Phoenix, and Master Chief. I would just love to see the three of them in a room just talking together. That would be amazing to me.
You know what that would have happened already?
Yeah, again, if they would have purchased BioWare.
It would have happened in the PlayStation. If this was PlayStation, it would have happened in the PlayStation commercial already.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It would have happened in a smoke room somewhere with Nathan Drake on one side with Sully with his feet on the table. It would have happened that way. Because you already know what those commercials were like.
All right, but let's move on to this final topic. Forte.
No, it's not good, sir.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to say it yet,
I'm
man.
talking to the person in the chat. I'm talking about yesterday. He asked me the G.I. Joe game good. I was like, no, it's terrible. But Cognito said that's his childhood and he has to have it. So I let him know every time that game goes on sale. Right now, it is 65% off, sir, for the regular copy of the game. And you can get it for $13.99. And if you were feeling really froggy, you can get the Digital Deluxe Edition.
Nobody care about no G.I. Joe game, man.
No, Cognito does. Cognito definitely does.
That's great. Tell me about Biomutant.
Tell you about Biomutant. The little bit of time I played in it, it's fun. It's actually really fun. I actually like the narration. I thought would have got him because I was listening to your stream and I was like, man, this narration is gonna get on my freaking nerves.
It's awful.
But it's pretty awful, but it's. I think the further I get into the game, the more I don't like it. But at first it was like, oh, this is actually cool. It's like more of a tutorial. But now it seems like the whole freaking game is that. And you're just going to oh my God, look, Slow-Mo, why does our Biomutant look the same?
Because you copied me. I did it first, man. I played it first. You copied me.
Okay, whatever. But mine's a little bit taller and it's so you put yours like closer to intelligence and agility?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I did the same thing. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I wanted to be able to move. I wasn't trying to be this big.
yeah, I'm
lumber
not trying to
and,
stick in one place too long. Try to, the mark of a kung fu master is agility and smarts, and I'm trying to outsmart my opponents and stuff. But no, the game was actually started out pretty fun. I was pretty much enjoying the banter going back and forth when it comes to like just listening to the narration and stuff like that. That was really cool. But the one thing that really is turning me off from the game, and I don't think it's going to get better. It's the same thing I said with Avengers. It feels like there's no weight behind anything you do in this game. It feels like you're flailing
like the
at
guns.
every little thing. Yeah, like there's no like you literally feel like you're shooting. You pew 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 pew. There's no feedback. Like if you play a game like Darksiders Genesis, where it's a top-down game and you got a gun, you actually, when you're shooting the gun, you feel like it's weight behind that gun. You feel the trigger pull, and I think a lot of people really are starting to kind of understand when we're talking about physical feedback when you're playing a game, because guess what? That's what the whole purpose of the DualSense is for the PlayStation 5. So I wonder if playing on the PS5 could be any better, but I didn't read anything saying that there was any real heavy DualSense support for this game, because it is only a PS4 game. You could just play it on your PS5. But outside of that, the game, it's cool. I'm happy I only spent $3 for it. I would have.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Because this game, the only thing that was intriguing about this game for the last 2 years is the collector's edition that you could buy on Amazon. That people literally bought that just because it was on sale so many times. And I ended up getting this game for $3 because of Slow Mo's recommendation on how to be able to get it. I'm happy I did it that way. The world looks. I like the world. The world
it
looks
is beautiful.
Good. I like the world building.
It's a good, nice looking world.
It's a very good looking world. But
I think
everything else,
to the detriment to, because like again, like I don't want to. Before I get started, I want to preface everything I say that this is a small development team of just 20 developers. So you have to kind of take that into context when you kind of look at, like, you can't compare this to say like a Horizon Forbidden West or something like that. The outside world is beautiful, but then you look on the inside when you go into like the sewer like areas or the buildings, and they're very barren. Not much there in the environment. But yeah, my bad. I just wanted to say that real quick, kind of like let people understand. If people didn't know, this is only a 20-man team. So, kind of keep that in mind, where you got other studios where they got like 200 developers. So go ahead, man.
No, you're right. And I'm just like, look at the gameplay on the screen. What is this?
But
it's like what they just standing there like, oh, we're just gonna stay here and let you hit us.
Pretty much.
Just like, oh my god, we move slower than everything. Oh, we gave this this mutated rat / mouse / bunny rabbit all these dang moves that can allow you to escape and roll, but then we're putting you up there with things that look like they're a little faster than they are, but they're actually zombie speed, and it's kind of crazy. But look, man, like you said, it's a 20-man team. Is it something that might finish? I don't know yet. I'm still playing it. I'm still chucking away at it when time permits. I think it's an adorable game. Is it something that I might finish? I don't know, but I don't know, man. The game, it started out good for me. I liked it at first, but then the more and more I played of it, I'm like, man, it's just something about just context in the game. Like when you don't have any feedback telling you what you're doing, that's kind of it's kind of bad game design to me.
So where are you right now? Where did you leave off in the game?
Right at I just beat the first boss.
The first World Eater. Okay, that's where I left off. That I did have that recorded, but then I don't know what happened. I had it recorded, and then I I stepped away because I had something with the kids, and then I forgot to stop the recording. So there's like a good hour and a half of just my desktop, and I'm like, let me edit this down, and then I haven't got to it yet. So I'm not showing that anyway.
Yeah, I see. Racer says it's okay to say it sucks, and I mean, look, I'm never gonna say a game. I stopped saying games sucked a long time ago because, like he said, the game was made by 20 people, and I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't still have expectations on a team when they make a game. You know, we seen studios like Ninja Theory with a smaller team, even though it was bigger than 20 people, they made a game like Hellblade. And to me, Hellblade has
but
some of
it was
the
barely
most,
bigger than 20 people. But
yeah,
still,
barely bigger than 20 people. But to me, Hellblade, their combat, it could have been better. You only had like 4 or 5 different combos in that whole freaking game. But when you played it, you felt everything you did in that game, on top of the on top of the psychosis that was going on in the game and the puzzle solving you had to do. It wasn't like the greatest game, but guess what? It was intriguing enough to the point where you felt attached to the character because of all the things that were going on, and the story kind of just dragged you like kind of pushed you through because the combat was satisfying enough to make the game feasible for you to want to go through and beat. That's what I think Hellblade actually was able to do compared to this game. Whereas when you don't have visual or physical feedback in the game, you just feel like there's nothing to kind of keep you like at attention. Like if you were playing Hellblade and something hit you, you felt it. In this game, it's like, oh, I could be having a conversation with Slow-Mo and talking to my daughter at the same time. And next thing I look up, man, why am I about to die? Oh, I didn't know I got hit 15 times because there's no real feedback in the game. That's always been a big thing for me when it comes to games like this.
I got you, man. And for me, it's so I ended the last time I played it again was after I finished the first World Eater. Okay. And like shout out to everyone who watched my stream earlier this week, because I was able to, and shout out to THQ Nordic and Experiment 101 because they did provide me a key on Steam PC to play the game early, so I was able to play it Monday when it came out on Tuesday. So shout out to them for that. All that said, the game is, I understand why there's some people who really, really like the game, and then there are some people who are just like, they can't stand it. I get it, because there are some strengths to it, and then there are some strong weaknesses to it. In my opinion, I think that Experiment 101, their weaknesses are very glaring because they rely on those aspects of the game too much. Now I know, like, if you watch my stream, I stream for about 2.5 hours. Now really a long time in the game, but 2.5 hours. And kind of when it came to pacing between combat and story, before we talked about how in Horizon Zero Dawn the pacing in the main campaign was very bad, so that story pacing was bad. My issue with Biomutant is that the combat is very good. I really enjoy the combat. My problem is that I didn't get to do enough of that in the beginning of the game, and I couldn't stand the narrator after like 10 minutes. And I think that the narrator, I understand why they did that part. They did that part because they had to only pay one voice actor instead of a whole bunch of voice actors. And this allowed them to have the entire game voice acted, because the narrator is explaining what the language is of these animals, what they're saying. You see, there's one dude who looked like Elvis, but he talked like old dirty bastard from Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, he did.
Shimmy, y'all, shimmy, y'all. And I'm like,
I was laughing when I got to that dude. I said, "Look, it's the Fonz."
And I'm like, and I'm replying to myself, "Give me the mic so I can take it." I'm like, hold up, that's not ODB. Anyway, but like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, That's hilarious.
Shimmy,
but you don't know what he's saying, and then a narrator comes in, and narrator's like, what he said was, "Great to see you. Go over here and take something," right? And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, cool." But you get tired of that after a while, and the story just isn't good enough for you to be focusing in on that so much. There was this one part. Matter of fact, in that 2.5 hours, I had 2 flashbacks. That were like 15 minutes long each, and I'm like, bro, can I get back to the game? I want to fight some people. And now I'm at the part where I'm doing that. It's just like, okay, there's this whole part where you're in like this big mech suit, this huge mech suit. And you're on your way to fight the World Eater. That takes a little while to get there. You do literally the entire fight against the World Eater in the mech suit, which was an okay fight. It wasn't a bad boss battle. But I think the strength of this game is the combat. The combat that you develop. You have so many different abilities. You got your bio abilities. You got your melee and your ranged attacks. But and another thing that irked me, this part here where it's like I'm in this area where there's like a dead zone area, and it's like they kept like respawning me in the same exact area where it's like I'm gonna die with no oxygen. I can't get out of there in time. I just kept dying. It was just like, what is this? Anyway, I think it's not enough balance to that, and then I haven't got to the parts where other people found there's too much repetition, where it's like you're taking down these control areas, and that's very much like a Ubisoft open world kind of game design. I don't really mind that because I like Ubisoft games, but it's just I think it needs some work, and I think maybe I heard this game was selling very well, and I'm glad for that, because what that says to me is that Experiment 101 is going to get a shot at another game after this,
right?
And that's going to be what's going to be great, I think, for them, because then they can be able to take some of the feedback that they're getting from this and be able to make an even better game next time. Like this game it's not a bad game in my opinion. It's not a terrible game. It's
exactly.
It needs some work. And for me, I probably, even after my stream and I played it a little bit longer, I still kind of wanted to be like, man, I kind of want to go back and Biomutant, because I really like the combat. So I kind of really want to go back and Biomutant and play it again. So
you're a little different than I am. Well, I don't think the combat's bad. I just don't like that there's no feedback to the combat. At least there's just not enough. And that's my biggest thing with the game. I think the combat is fine. When I was doing combos and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. You do this, you can do that. They got different air moves you can do. You can dodge and shoot and dodge and melee. It was satisfying in that regard, like I said, but it's just when I don't feel. It's like when I play a shooter, I don't want to feel feedback, because I'm in a mode where I don't want my gunplay to be interrupted by feedback from the controller, because I'm in a competitive nature there. But when I'm sitting back just playing a game, like when I played God of War, I wanted to feel when my axe hit something. I want to know that was a hit. I want to know when that enemy, instead of just seeing the visual indication of me hitting somebody with the axe, and seeing that they blocked it, I want to feel it in the controller. Right. That's just how I've always felt when I play any type of melee game or any type of game that has shooting in it that's not in a competitive mindset. So I'm with you. I do want to keep playing the game because I do find the game satisfying to play. That's just the one thing I have. Just any developer out there, just try to find a way to give personality. Because that's the biggest thing I call it, is personality. Because if your game doesn't have personality to go with the combat, that kind of throws you out of the loop of the game, and then you just feel like you're pushing buttons to push buttons.
Yeah. Also, the shooting the guns is very pew pew pew. You know,
Yeah,
it's
pew
like,
pew pew.
like the sound of the sound effect of the guns is like. Pew, 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 pew. I'm just like,
it's like a chipmunk singing.
yeah, you know, and I'll have like a huge pistol. I'm shooting a huge pistol, and it just. Am I shooting a BB gun? Like what is like the look of my gun doesn't match the sound that's coming out of it. So like it's just little things like that you know, if you look at some of the dev diaries of some of these studios and how they do their sound design, it's very unique and it's very interesting. But like some games, this entire sound team is bigger than this studio's entire studio. So you know, there's one dude who probably got, you know, who's working on the sound. He probably wears a lot of hats. He's probably also doing some coding. He's probably also doing some other stuff in the environment, whatever, right? When you got only 20 people, you have to kind of have some cross skills to help kind of fill some holes in, because you're not going to be able to get everything done. And that's, you know, it's unfortunate as it is. I still do think they got a little something with it. And I did hear about some crash issues on consoles, but I can say for once this year, here's a game that I have not had a single bug in my like 5 hours playing it. Not a single bug. So I do have to congratulate them on that. Big old open world, massive open world. Some people said too big. And a single bug for me. So I gotta commend them for that. They definitely made sure it was stable for me, for at least on PC.
Yeah, I see somebody was talking about feedback. Have you ever played a game that this kind of looks like? Have you ever played any of the Plants vs. Zombies, the Garden Warfare games?
No, I've never had. Like, I've always like just looked at them and be like, yeah, I'm not interested. So I don't even know. I even have no idea what their kind of games those are. Yeah, I don't.
Well, certain characters, like some of the characters, they're just melee or chop based because they're plants. But they have like the sunflower and some of the other characters that can shoot pellets and stuff at you. And anybody that's played that game or played any of those games, if you want to see what I'm talking about feedback, especially in a game that's cartoony as heck like those games are, those games when you shoot like the sunflower and he's shooting sun pellets at you and stuff, you hear it's like but you feel each one of those things coming out of your controller. It is pretty satisfying when you kill somebody when you're shooting him with your sunflower and he got to stick his head back in the air and go and then reload his gun. It's pretty crazy. But that's the things I'll be talking about. Like, you know, if a game, I mean, and granted, that's a game that's also published by EA and PopCap, and they got all the money in the world, and they probably got 200 people working on that game. And I'm not being remiss to that, but those are the type of things I be talking about when I want to hear, when I want to feel something inside the game, because I enjoyed those. I played a lot of those modern Garden Warfare games. That's before I became a Destiny stan, long time ago.
Yeah. Whole different person ago, you know. Just got on that Destiny crack, and you just completely flipped.
Lucas back too. Did you notice?
Yeah,
notice Lucas fell back into it.
That's really unfortunate.
We need to get you back in there.
That's a negative, so that's never going to happen. But no, look, I mean, like that's it for look, if you haven't played Biomutant yet, and you see the gameplay, and you're just like, oh, that looks pretty cool, pretty interesting, want to check it out, go for it. Now, a question for you, Forte. Do you think this game is worth $60? That's the price of it right now.
It is the price of it. No, it's not. 40, I'll give it 40. Yeah. Or I would, or if I was a person that was looking to experience this game, I would wait until it hits $40. $30 would be the best point. A game like this, honestly, unless you're just starving for games to play, which, let's be for real, you shouldn't be at a certain point, because there has been a bunch of games that have released over the last couple of weeks or even the last month. Try some of that stuff out and wait for this game to hit some type of discount. This game would be the same game in December when it's half off or $19.99 than it is right now.
Yeah. I think I always say that the value of a game is subjective. It's all about the person that's playing it,
Yeah.
and the value
Yep.
of a game for someone else could be $100, and for you it could be $1. But for me, I don't think this game is for me worth $60. Somewhere in the $30-$40 range,
Yep,
deep
I
sale.
agree.
I would pick it up and give it a shot. I was fortunate enough to be able to get a code for the game, to live stream it. So again, shout out to THQ Nordic for that. So I didn't have to pay anything at all. But if I did have to pay for the game, and I was intending on buying the game before I got the code. There was this whole sale thing. I actually did end up purchasing it like the same way Forte did, because I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Oh,
but
it definitely wasn't, because they fixed it at like 2:00 in the morning. They fixed it.
yeah, but I appreciate EA not rejecting everyone's purchases.
Yep.
But like there was a mistake. Something that was supposed to be DLC for the game.
Yeah, and I remember when Wario 64 said that in a tweet. He's like, well, it looks like that was a mistake. Hope everybody's okay if their full game turns into a $3 DLC code.
Yeah, so like you ended up getting a standard edition for like some $2.99 DLC. So I picked it up because I was just like, well, it's $3, even though I already got the code for the game. But regardless, yeah, it's worth that at least. But I would say probably somewhere in the
Can't
30
be mad about that.
the $30-$40 range sounds about right. But
Can't be mad about that.
Go ahead and check the game out if you guys want to. And but let's I think we are about done. That's all the topics there, Forte. Good show, man. Outside of your slander of my
Lord, here we go.
Of my film shop, it was a very, very good show. Tell the people what you got in the store for the rest of the week for your channel, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, man, it's Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. This was a great show, Slow-Mo. We were talking about this over the course of the week, for the last 2 days. It's like, yo, this show's gonna be lit because everything is happening this weekend. We kind of been looking forward to having a show like that with you guys. But as always, we truly appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the super chats, all the love. Shout out to my homeboy Slow-Mo putting all this stuff together for this week. He's the hardest working man I know.
Look, Shanae.
Yes,
that's her name, Shanae. You see that? You just said.
Oh. Yeah, I see that on the screen. but she's strong in the face though.
Hey, look, she don't look like Shanae. Okay.
Okay,
she's just Shanae.
For the brother, what about Brother Man? Would she be climbing through the window like Brother Man from upstairs?
I should have named my male shepherd on PC Brother Man. Man, man, like I missed out on a big opportunity there, yo.
Brother Man Shepherd.
for the fifth floor. But when you say fifth floor, you gotta put up 4 fingers because he always had 4 fingers.
Brother Man for the fifth floor.
Oh man, it's probably a bunch of young people here who had never watched Martin and have no idea what we talking about.
What the heck we're talking about is it's like we're speaking gibberish alias right now. But yeah, man, you did a really good job putting the show together. But as always, I always appreciate doing these shows with you, and can't wait to do it again with you next week. And for me, a couple more videos coming out. I'm going to be making a video on actually that's coming out tomorrow. Xbox and the 5 games that they're going to be showing off at E3 that are newly announced games, not games that they talked about already. These are going to be some games that are going to be showcased. No one really knows what that list is going to be, but we're just going to basically talk about the implications of what that's going to be. And we're going to dive deeper into some other stuff throughout the weekend. So if that's something that you're definitely excited for, definitely come sub to the channel, and I really truly appreciate that. And Slow-Mo, thanks for another great show.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, but before we rarely do this. Out there in the chat, any questions you guys have for us, let us know before we head on out. And while you guys are hitting us with questions, I'm gonna go ahead and just let you guys know what I got planned for the next week. So I got a couple of videos that I'm working on. I know they haven't come out yet. I'm sorry, but yeah, I got a couple of videos. One video I'm working on is about why looter shooters is a dying genre. Looter shooters don't work. That's my one video. The other video is something that just really is kind of dear to me about how Square Enix could do a Chrono Trigger remake and what I would like to see in that. So those are the two videos that I'm definitely working on at the moment. I'm also still live streaming Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is, kind of what you're seeing right now. Even though this is Mass Effect 2 on the PlayStation 5, I am streaming still on Mass Effect 1 on PC. Of course.
Look at Presley. You can see the glow in Presley's head in Mass Effect 2.
Because everything about Mass Effect 2 was better than Mass Effect 1.
Oh,
everything.
You know what? Speaking of which, I'm gonna let this be known. So my boy Franco Tech says, "Good show, but I still think Forte was eating."
Cause you were.
I was literally finished eating my piece of chicken when he said that. So you get the
so you lied
at the end of the show.
So you lied.
Exclusive. He gets the exclusive at the end of the show.
Franco Tech was right.
Literally just got through eating a
Franco
piece of chicken.
Tech was right. Why are you once again every time I gotta tell you about not eating on the show? That people can hear you eating on the show.
Listen, I was just finishing the last bit of my dinner from when I got off work, and
I don't want to hear these excuses. You do this every week. You do it every week.
But listen,
all these excuses.
I know it's slander. But you know what? This is
it ain't slander.
Podcast.
It's not slander when it's true.
It's the truth. It's the truth. But guess what? We're authentic here, and we're gonna let people know. And I don't want Franco.
Can you authentically stop eating?
I don't want Franco going to sleep thinking that he was actually wrong. He was actually right. He caught me. It was very.
You're caught every week.
No, slow-mo. The fact that you didn't even hear it lets me know that it was definitely something that was not that audible, because I was nowhere near the mic when it was happening. But that man, his super
thank
hearing,
you, Racer. Forte eats on every podcast, though. Exactly. What do you do this on every podcast? Nobody wants to hear that. No one wants to hear any of that.
You ain't even hear that, slow-mo.
Doesn't matter. Other people heard it. It doesn't matter that I hear it. It's the audience who doesn't want to hear your mouth noises, man. Okay, we got a question real quick. Hold on. Racer says, "Do you guys think Horizon Zero? I think he means Horizon Forbidden West comes out this year. Isn't it sus that there was no release date? We did talk about that earlier, Racer. Before you got in. I think
Jack.
I think that what's going to happen is
Jack didn't even make it out to Normandy.
Jack
didn't make it out to Normandy.
Who's Jack?
You just see Jack die, right? Oh, never mind.
Jack's not even in the game yet. So I do think that the reason why they didn't do a release date yet is because I saw some people saying they want to know when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out because they ain't trying to deal with the comparisons again. I thought that was funny.
That would be great. Can you imagine?
They both came out at the same time again, like in the round 2 fight.
It will be a flawless victory once again for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
It doesn't mean it's the better game. Anyway, I think it's more of that they don't want to give us a release date and then, like, say a month or two later have to change it again. Like, it's still pandemic times. It's still developers really not being as efficient as they once were when they were all in the office. And I think that plays a part in it with Guerrilla. And they don't want to give us a release date and then a month later have to delay that again. So I do think that it's still going to come out before this fall, because when they're not launching a console, Sony normally will have all their first party games out, avoiding like the Call of Duty time of period, the holiday time of year, like all out by September kind of stuff. So I'm thinking August or September is when it'll come out. What about you, Forte?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like when I was talking about it with you earlier today, I kept saying, I was like, listen, the fact that they made people endure this 5-hour live stream just to not give us a release date sucked. But
Not 5 hours.
overall,
Nobody told them. Look, there was a timer on the thing. Nobody
man,
told y'all to watch it for 5 hours.
They had no business making people wait 5 hours, man. They had no business doing that. But guess what? It's Sony. Sony can do stuff like that. I think the game is coming out this year. I just think they don't want to commit to a definite release date on it. I think they're shooting probably for September or October. I don't think it's going to go all the way into like November, December, because I think at that certain point, Sony has kind of shown the capacity of not releasing their games in the middle of the holiday. If it can't make early September or October, it might get pushed to like February of next year, which might be for the best for that game, because I think the best thing that happened for the first Horizon was the fact that it had a pretty open release window where there was nothing around it. For at least the first couple of, I think for the first month, and then that's when Breath of the Wild came out and kind of just threw something in the sauce for it. But I do think it's going to come out this year.
This is why come out this year, though. This is why I disagree with that, because you got to remember, God of War Ragnarok is also like a game that technically is supposed to be 2021, but we all know isn't going to be 2021. It's going to be like early next year or something like that. And did you really believe that was coming out in 2021? No, I never. Even when no one thought that it was really going to come out this year. But regardless of that, but regardless of that, if you're talking about Forbidden West being delayed into early next year, and then now you're kind of like, you're kind of, even though they've done this before with some of their not first party, but some of their games where, like, I remember God of War came out, and then it was, I think Detroit Become Human came out either a month before or a month after it. But that's rare. You normally don't want like your titles on top of each other like that, and I think that God of War Ragnarok would be early 2022, and I just don't think Forbidden West is going to come out like going to be that late. If you think about all the times that they have shown this kind of stuff, a deep dive like that, the game has normally come out within like a couple of months, like 3 months max from that moment. So I'm thinking like for real, like August probably, but we'll see.
Shout out to the homeboy Big Cloud Gaming. Shout out to Slow Mo. I vote to remove Forte until we get our PS5s. He owes us. LOL. Sup peeps.
He sure does. Mr. Forte. I'm always helping everybody get their PlayStations and their Xbox. Who did you help?
Cognito, Attic.
Attic got his PlayStation from Kids Move.
No, I helped him get his Xbox. Not his PlayStation. You're right. A couple other people.
So you helping all these people, but
look at my DMs.
You helping all these other people.
If I go look at,
but
my
you ain't
DMs,
helping your podcast, your podcast mate. Wow.
Slow-mo.
Wow.
Slow-mo, you got yours from Coles.
Yes, I did. Shout out to Coles. Not only did they provide me a PlayStation 5, I got a nice dinette set. I got some good drapes.
How much did you pay? Wait a minute. How much Coles cash did you get off that PlayStation?
Like $180 in Coles cash.
Coles cash.
I've spent every dollar too, man. I'm saying I hooked my kids up with all kinds of socks and
that Coles cash comes in for the win, the clutch.
Man, I got my mom a foot massager. I'm telling you, man, I Coles cash took care of my Christmas shopping real good. Shout out to Coles. Definitely looked out for a brother, unlike Forte.
All right. I'm here every week if you need me, Slow-mo.
Oh, what's up, Blade X?
Miranda Lawson. Woo, that girl. Miranda Lawson.
Yeah, Miranda is the truth. Even though they made some alterations to good old Miranda in this.
Yeah, they made her a little flat in the back.
Yeah, I was like, wait. I thought they just said they was changing camera angles. They did a little bit more than changing camera angles.
They flattened her out a little bit. If you want to see the real Miranda Lawson, you got to go play the original games.
Right, but I still kind of prefer. Hey, did you see there's a DLC armor for her?
Looks way better in this game. Still a little strong in the face, but looks a lot better.
You know, we ain't gonna be done. Did you see that? Did you see that the Miranda Lawson DLC armor?
I did see it. Did you buy it?
No, I thought that was supposed to come with the game. Like,
oh, is it? I saw
it.
But
look, I
didn't know you had to pay for it.
Here's the thing. I got the standard edition. Maybe I haven't seen it yet because on PlayStation I got the standard edition, which probably didn't come with that version or something. But on PC I got EA Play Plus, so I get everything. So I haven't made it to Mass Effect 2 yet because I'm still on Mass Effect 1. So maybe I just gotta because I got Miranda and I think I already did. Yeah, no, I haven't done her loyalty mission yet. I don't know when that armor is even available to you. I don't know if it's available to you immediately or if it's after a loyalty mission or something. I don't know, but I guess I'll check it further. I'll actually jump on Origin before I go to sleep and see if I got all the DLC included with everything. I should, because that stuff's included in the subscription. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Enough rambling. I appreciate all you guys for coming through. Shout out to all you all who are still here at 11:30 at night, still listening to us. Appreciate all you guys. Keep us in check. Keep us from eating while we podcasting. Continue to call us out when we say names wrong, and when I call the Master Chief, Commander Shepard, the Master Shepard, whatever I call them. Y'all have a good night, man, and play your games. Peace out.
Later, guys. Have a good night.